Alright, I think I got it now. There we go. So, what the fuck is up, y'all? It's KreyzMcKormik, up in this motherfucking bitch. Bitch. Welcome to the fucking crazy house. And as I can see in the chat, has already been fucking blowing up. I think it's kind of funny. So, let's go on and get into this shit. So, I have been postponing this show for quite some time, and it's actually due to the fact that, well, as soon as the gathering was over and I got home, think about it. Fucking dead out the ass and everything like that. And I'll get into this. So, we're going to have to set the Wayback Machine to a few weeks prior to the fucking gathering of the Juggalos. So, what ends up happening is I'm driving around doing delivery stuff for Amazon, and what ends up happening, my fucking engine starts overheating. Turns out that there was something going on, something really fucked up going on with the coolant system. One of the hoses ended up fucking busting off, spewed everything in the fucking radiator all over the engine, and started to overheat the motherfucker. And I had to get that repaired. So I took it over to my mechanic, and the next day, and it ended up fucking reaching $739 and some odd cents. Real fucked up, but I drive an SUV, so that kind of makes sense to me. So what ends up going down, I have to fucking pay that. Now at that time, I had about $500 set and saved and set to the side, so that way I could use that at the fucking gathering of the Juggalos. Well, I had to spend all of that fucking money. Like, if it wasn't for this shit, like, my financial shit would have actually been set and straight. But, it is what it is. So I had to pay that. But I only had $500 set to the side. And what ends up going down, on top of that, I had to borrow like $250 from my mom in order to get the shit paid off. So that basically means that what I have to do is I have to fucking not only get the money that I owe my mom, the 250, but I also have to try to get that $500 back. So say goodbye to fucking bills. I busted my fucking ass off to try to get that $800 in order to pay my mom, in order to get the $500 for the fucking gathering. Actually, my mechanic is actually pretty good when it concerns hooking me up a deal. So I know that the $739 was pretty much with the discount. I think where he gets his parts from is probably from the main manufacturer, because I doubt that he has to fucking get this shit at Rock Auto or something like that. And what ends so like I said, my mechanic's good with fucking hooking me up a deal. And on top of that, like, this is the funny shit. Like, when I ended up fucking explaining this in the past, there had actually been people who tried to say, well, dude, you could have gone to such and such a place and probably only had to spend like $100 or $200 in order to do that. Yeah, if you're driving like a piece of shit fucking sedan, like, prices are going to vary when it concerns differences between sedans, coupes, vans, SUVs, and I drive an SUV. So everything on an SUV is fucking expensive. Whether it be, having to fucking deal with the mechanics, themselves, or having to fucking, like, deal with, there's a lot of in and out. So I'm accepting the fact that it was $739. And my mechanic's actually a pretty good mechanic. So basically this means that for 2.5 straight weeks, I'm doing Uber, I'm doing Lyft, I'm doing any job that I can possibly get where I'm actually able to bring in money and pull it out immediately, just so that way I can get the fucking money back. On top of that, also having to pay for the gas and the expenses of everything when it concerns my business, because I do Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, so on and so forth. Like all of that shit is basically my it's my sole bread and butter. I consider myself to be self-employed, and I use all of these things. Um, you know, so I have to have a separate bank account to maintain the business side of things. I have to have a separate bank account for all of the fucking bills, separate bank account for all of the expenditures and things of that nature. So, I mean, other than the fucking money that I had to earn for myself and earn to pay off my mom, because my mom was actually going on vacation at the exact same time that I was going to be at the gathering. So on top of all of this stuff, I also have to earn an additional $420 uh, to keep the fucking business going, and that's a week. So that's like another $840 on top of another 500 on top of another 300. So that's like what, $1,700 in 2.5 weeks, and I made it just in time to fucking start getting things ready for the gathering. On top of that, of course, because of all the free time that I was having, I was still able to maintain doing stuff on YouTube and things of that nature. But at the same time, you got to take into consideration that the money that I normally bring in, which is about $780 a week, aside from all of the business stuff, I'm also having to fucking, I'm also having to fucking do all this shit, just to pay bills. So basically, I had to fucking sacrifice all my bills in order to go to the gathering of the Juggalos. Worth it, in my opinion. So during this time, like, I guess you could say, I've been getting in contact with Jamie Nicole, and I was also getting in touch with Max, and things about, I guess what ended up going down initially was that Max had the idea of bringing Jamie Nicole to the fucking gathering, and she said, I guess, he ended up asking her, out of everybody in the fucking Jugganati, who would you trust the most to actually bring you there safe and bring you back? And out of everybody in the Jugganati that she knew of, I ended up getting brought up. So Max asked me if we could figure out a way on how to get Jamie Nicole over to Grand Rapids, Michigan, would I be willing to take her to the fucking gathering of the Juggalos? And at first I was a little bit leery about this, thinking to myself, don't we have fucking problems with her? And I guess what the intent was is that, because of Max's good nature, I guess what he wanted to try to do was to bring her to the gathering of the Juggalos, so that way she could bury the hatchet with everybody, and I guess maybe start anew. Because that seems to be kind of like the noble thing to do, to fucking squash, you utilize the gathering to squash beef with enemies. Okay, I can kind of understand that. I can kind of see where he's coming from on this. Sure, why the fuck not? I'll play the patsy. I'll play driving Miss Daisy for this shit. Um, you know, so there's that. So because of that, me and Jamie Nicole were keeping in contact, and I guess you could say that the conversation got a little heavy. Now, of course, this is something that a lot of people already fucking know, because everybody else has been talking about their gathering experiences and so on and so forth. So basically, yeah, that ended up becoming the plan. The plan eventually, at some point or another, was going to be the fact that I was going to pick up Jamie Nicole and I was gonna fucking hit it. That basically was the truth, the honest to God's truth. And you know, what's funny to me is that, like, she was, in the conversation, like, I wouldn't say necessarily that in our text message conversation, like, I don't think either one of us was really going too blunt with what it was that we were saying. I don't think that it was kind of like that sneak shit. Um, so, well, yeah. So it was kind of on that sneaky shit, the suave shit. with the way that she and I were fucking communicating this back and forth. One thing that I will say though, that in the text messages, she did end up bragging about having, like I guess I don't know, on the depot shot. No, she's not on the depot shot, but she's got like her tubes tied or had like one of those fucking circular things implanted. It's like she's got an implant or something like that, and she's STD free. Okay, whatever. Cool. I mean, I guess that's an additional fucking benefit. You know what I'm saying? So there was that. Um, Now, a couple of days prior to everything coming into fruition, everything fucking getting locked down, so that way everything was going to be set in play. Actually, I think it was the day before, or it was either the day before or the day of the gathering. Now that I think about it, I end up getting a fucking phone call from her bawling her eyes out because of the fact that Sean Snipes ended up rescinding the fucking funds for the ticket, because I guess he ended up paying it with his debit card or something like that. And then she started sending me screenshots of the text messages that he was sending her, which some of them were basically saying, "Are you, to a point where it was like, are you fucking stupid? You're gonna go to the gathering of the Juggalos where people are known to fucking get raped and hurt and all of this other stuff, and you're gonna go hang out with a guy that you said threatened to fucking rape, kidnap and rape you? Are you fucking stupid?" And shit like that, you know. And so in the text messages, she actually fucking said, like, she actually said things along the lines of like, "You're dead to me. Don't fucking call me. Don't text me. Don't contact me in any other fucking way." Apparently, she said that she was going to figure out a way on how to get there anyways, even without his money. Now, some of the things that she had been doing was like she was trying to donate plasma. Which I thought was interesting. Like she legitimately was trying to fucking go through plasma donation, in order to get money. Which, in somebody else, I think it was in Kyle's live stream, he ended up actually confirming that she was going to go get plasma donations. She was donating plasma to try to get money, and she was also selling a bunch of Funko Pops. Like, I guess that's what she does. Like, she fucking flips Funko Pops. That's one of the things that she was doing in order to try to get money just to fucking get to the gathering. And she ended up selling one of them for like $100 at the train station, just so that way she could get a fucking ride down to Chicago. So the original plan ended up getting a fucking audible. Originally, she was supposed to take a train to come to Grand Rapids. In the meanwhile, I was going to work, and then meet up with Guido, pick him up, go over to the fucking train station and pick her up, and then all of us were gonna go down and drive to the gathering of the Juggalos, or at least to the hotel. Uh, Things were kind of timed right, so that way I could work and I could pick them up, and in we would be at the hotel that that I reserved probably by like 6 in the morning. So that ended up getting fucked up, and instead she ended up having a fucking train that took her down to Chicago instead. Shorter for her, less money for her, and then fucking ended up going down to Chicago. So what I did was, as soon as I found out about all of this, I fucking call up Guido and I ended up telling him what went down. Things ended up, plans ended up changing. So I have to pick him up, and then we have to be down to Chicago by such and such a time when her fucking train gets to Chicago, Illinois. Now, did this actually do anything concerning the trip? Not really. The only thing that it really did was just add one extra hour to the fucking trip. But what ends up happening is we end up getting to the hotel much much earlier than I had anticipated. So we drove down to Chicago and we picked her up, and the first thing that I fucking ended up saying to myself when I saw her was, wow, she looks totally fucking different as opposed to what she looks like online. I did not expect her to be built like a fucking linebacker. I mean, I didn't actually think that to myself. I didn't expect her to actually have this kind of body build, and I didn't expect her to be this tall. So, like, I was actually expecting her to be shorter, which probably would have made sense concerning the body type, but it is what it is. And on top of that, it also looks like she packs on a lot of fucking makeup. And her fucking. And on top of that, like, she uses lip gloss, so it kind of constantly runs on her teeth. Well, this is just surprising now, isn't it? Now, at first, this I thought was kind of awkward. So, like, me and Guido, we drive down to Chicago. We go pick up Jamie Nicole, and like we put all of her shit in my trunk, in the SUV, and then Guido stays in the front seat. Like, he doesn't even offer her the fuck in front seat. Like, he just stayed in the front seat. Now, I thought that was very weird, but at the same time, it's like, on one hand, it was kind of like, you know, yeah, he's my boy, so I guess, longevity rules. At the same time, it's like, dude, she's a chick. At least show a little fucking respect, you know? So, like, I was thinking in the back of my head, I was like, like, the least Guido could have done was like gone into the back seat and fell asleep so I could possibly get some roadhead while we were on our way to the fucking hotel. That would have been nice. Uh, at least that's what I thought, at the time, because obviously I don't know a goddamn thing about this chick, so it's like, okay, whatever. So we're driving, and all of us are fucking talking and stuff. Stopped a couple of times because I had to refill on Red Bull, which I'm going to tell you this, motherfuckers. If you think I drink a lot of Red Bull, you are sorely fucking mistaken. This whole situation with Jamie Nicole and how much fucking Red Bull she drinks puts me to shame. Like, she fucking drinks way more Red Bull than I do. Like, to a point where it's like, what's water? Like, she probably would look at water and be like, I don't like that stuff because it tastes boring. So, whatever. Then we get over to so we're driving, all of us are fucking having a conversation and talking and stuff like that. Apparently, this was the first time that Guido and Jamie Nicole have ever had a fucking conversation ever. Like, Guido really didn't participate in any of the times that Jamie Nicole was fucking like trying to talk shit on whether it be Child's Play Ninja or or fucking Jugganati or anything like that. Guido kind of stayed out of it and stayed in his own fucking lane. So there's that. So we get to the hotel at around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. And I was like, honestly, like, they say that check-in isn't until 3 p.m. And we're here like 12 fucking hours early. I'm hoping that I'll be able to actually get I hope that we'll be able to get the reservation, because if we don't, then we're just going to sleep in the car and, and stay in the car until fucking whatever. Until 3 o'clock when we actually can fucking turn in and everything. So I talked to the guy, and he actually fucking set me up, gave us our room. We brought all of our, actually, no, like, we just walked right into the room. I don't even think we really grabbed our stuff. We just fucking set shit up and we fucking went to sleep. Actually, no. My bad. I actually think that, I'm trying to think here. It's been what, a month since all of this shit went down. So, with all of the stuff that I've done since then, it's kind of fuzzy. But I believe, if I'm right, then that was around the time that fucking that was when shit went down. So that night I ended up fucking I ended up getting the hotel. We get things situated and stuff. Guido basically flat out just lays the fuck down. And me and Jamie Nicole go into the fucking bathroom and we start trying to get shit going. So I'm taking off her top and fucking we're getting naked and shit like that. We're making out a little bit in the process of all of this. And, so like right at that point, that's when Jamie starts fucking going to town on my dick, and I was not impressed whatsoever. Uh, this is basically the point where everybody wanted to fucking hear about this, and I wouldn't be surprised if I lose viewership at any given point in time after this. I won't be surprised. But uh, so basically, yeah, like so like where the door is, there's like a little curve right there, and then right there's where the fucking tub is. So I'm holding myself against the fucking corner of the wall, like so like the edge of the fucking wall is actually going into my fucking back, and I'm holding myself up. Yeah, my shit's fucking up. Yeah, see, look at that shit. Goddamn light reflection. So I'm sitting there and I've got my arm up in the air. I'm holding onto the fucking shower curtain rod, and I'm trying to keep myself balanced. Now the problem with this also is that like because of how tall she was, while I'm doing this and holding myself up, like I'm trying to fucking be on my tippy toes because she's bent over in a fucking reverse L shape trying to fucking suck me off. Normally, I would assume 99% of chicks that do go down on guys go on their fucking knees. At least fucking put a towel on the floor so that way your knees don't fucking hurt when you're in the middle of this shit. Go down there, suck my dick, and and give it hell. Instead, she's like bent over in a reverse L-shaped position, and because of how tall she was, it like she wasn't able to fucking get the shit done right. Like she grabbed the fucking stock end of like the stock end of my dick, and she's motioning her fucking arm in like offbeat from her head. So it's kind of like it was so off fucking rhythm, and that was kind of a fucking problem for me. On top of that, like I'm on my fucking tippy toes and I'm like trying to fucking stand on my tippy toes as she's fucking doing this shit, and I couldn't fucking do it. Like it was just like it was so uncomfortable. Not to mention she's like, okay, so this is not actual size, but what I am explaining is like, okay, so like at the root where she's fucking holding my dick, it's a fucking tight ass grip, and I'm like as she's fucking pulling it closer to her head, it felt like she was trying to rip the skin off of it. Like that's not comfortable whatsoever. So eventually I'm just like, okay, you know what? This isn't fucking working. In my head, I'm like, this isn't fucking working. So I get her up and I put her on the fucking sink and I try to do shit, and my dick got soft. Like right fucking there. Yes, straight up fucking G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip style. So like, so anyways, yeah, so I put her on the fucking sink and I'm trying to fucking put my dick in her, and it went soft. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm sitting there, I'm slapping my fucking dick to try to get it hard again. And so like I'm backing up and trying to fucking smack it, like wake the fuck up, motherfucker, it's go time. Like, yes, I understand she catfished us, but come on, mama didn't raise no quitter. Mama didn't raise no quitter whatsoever. And so like she fucking comes back down off the fucking shit, and fucking what ends up like she tries to fucking go to town sucking my dick again. Nothing's happening. Like my fucking dick, it's kind of like between it's like if you've ever played a fucking have you ever played one of those fucking video games where you're like playing a speedboat and you have to fucking move the throttle up and back and forth and back and forth in order to maintain the speed? That's what my dick was doing. Hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, soft. It kept on fucking going back and forth. My dick would not make up its mind. Like, my dick was like, no, no, pull the throttle back. And my brain's like, no, pull the throttle up. And my dick in the meantime, like, you know, like my fucking skin at this point in time, like the entire fucking contents of my skin is just sitting there like, pull the fucking nose up, bitch, pull the fucking nose up. And eventually I just looked at her and I was like, you know what? This isn't gonna fucking work. This to me feels like it's a sign that it was not meant to be. So let's just not do this. And she's like, okay. Now, basically, that was the end of that. I hopped into the shower. I washed myself off. And then after that, I proceeded to pee in the shower. Of course, it's a fucking hotel. It's gross anyways as it is, so fuck it. And I also brought my own loofah, my own body wash, and all that other shit. So I didn't have to bother with the bullshit crap that they have at the goddamn hotel. I don't care if it, I don't care. It was like, what, a 2.5-star hotel? So they usually have like decent fucking stuff to steal. But, no, I bring my own shit. I bring the shit that I like. And on top of that, I brought my own fucking towel. Yeah, and believe me, I took a minute fucking washing myself. Like, I've washed my dick in triplicate, just to make sure that everything is fine. And I am proud to say that as of right now, it's been what, a month? You would think that I'd have some kind of bumpage, but I don't. Everything is fine. Everything is dandy. Everything is squeaky clean. And the reason why that is because I peed in the fucking shower. I made damn sure that I peed that stuff out of my pee hole before I fucking went to bed. Now, not for nothing, I did end up trying to fucking lay down at that point. Like after I took my shower, she took her shower, we're fucking just chilling, watching TV. All of us are sitting there watching TV. I've got the power of the remote and I'm going through, trying to find something to watch because you guys know how fucking shitty hotel cable is. Like, I don't give a fuck if you got free HBO. Like, if you're not playing Game of Thrones on that motherfucker, then it's pointless to even watch HBO at this point. So yeah, that's also on a side note. I no longer have I no longer have fucking HBO. So, yep, that's the cure, Esteban. As soon as you're fucking done, pee in the fucking shower and wash yourself off. If your schlock would have hit that raw, you would have been on Harmony treatments. Actually, I did. Like, I'm not a condom guy. So no, it's not even no. B Clown 510. Think less than that. Less than that. And that's the case. So I basically, like, okay, Guido was asleep by the time I fucking got out of the shower, got dressed, and got into the main room to lay down on the bed. So me and Jamie Nicole, I cuddled her and she went to sleep and she was sawing lumber. She was snoring like a motherfucker and it was very difficult to get to sleep. That's why I was watching TV. You know what I actually did in order to fucking get some sleep that night? I watched I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy just happened to be on TV, and periodically I would go outside, have a fucking smoke. Probably one every fucking 15, 20 minutes just to make sure that I fucking got the taste out of my mouth. Yeah, blowjobs are hard to transmit shit unless she had a sore in her mouth and you had one on your cock. Yeah, that's true. And I don't. Like I said, squeaky clean penis. And on top, and I'm proud to say that, man. My dick is still squeaky clean. My dick is still squeaky clean. And on top of that, my dick does not have gingivitis. So that's a plus. So we wake up the next day and we still have a whole day of basically doing nothing, you know? So we chilled. But the next day, yeah, so the next day was when we ended up grabbing all of our stuff and bringing it into the hotel. And the very first thing that I fucking did after I brought all my shit into the fucking hotel room, I hooked up my fucking Nintendo. That's the very first fucking thing I did. Like, I hooked up my fucking Super NES Mini, and I hooked that fucking thing up to the TV. The first thing that I actually did when I went into the fucking hotel room, the very first thing I did was hooked up was check the TV to even see if it had an extra HDMI port and if there was a possible way to actually access said HDMI port so that way I could play Nintendo. If there was no way to fucking do that shit, I'd have fucking yanked the HDMI cord out of the back of the fucking shit so that way I could plug in my Nintendo. Either which way, that Nintendo was getting hooked up. It was either it was going to get hooked up or we were going to fucking unhook the fucking cable so we could hook up the fucking Nintendo. That's how it's fucking done. So, while I'm doing this, I'm starting to see some other ninjas in our fucking crew and a couple of other juggalos that were chilling at that exact same hotel. And right then and there, man, that's when the fucking party rolled, man. All of us fucking hooking up and chilling and talking and stuff like that. Now, I know that a lot of other people have their fucking stories, and obviously I was privy to some of them as well. But I was around a lot. And at some point or another, I think, you know, I think at some point, yeah, I think at some point Fat Jesus was basically saying some shit about how he wanted to fucking check out the pool. So we all did. It was like Fat Jesus, Wolf, myself, Jamie Nicole, Guido, even Sister Hatchet got a piece of that pool action. Now there were some pictures that ended up surfacing that I don't have on me right now. I didn't even take time to fucking try to grab pictures or anything like that to show for reference while I was doing this stuff. So, but you guys know me. I have no reason to fucking lie about shit. I might have a bad timing thing, but I definitely have no reason to lie about anything about anything that went on at the fucking gathering. Because who am I here to try to impress? You? Fuck that. But at some point or another, like, Fat Jesus was all about that fucking pool life. And so a bunch of us ended up fucking going and dipping in the pool and fucking around and shit. And of course, fucking Kyle was doing that shit. And all of us were trying to fucking convince Tori to fucking jump in the pool or jump in the hot tub or something like that. And she's like, I don't have a bathing suit. Come on, it's us. Do you really think we give a shit as to whether or not you have a fucking bathing suit? Fucking strip nude and fucking get in the pool. For Christ's sakes. I mean, shit, Sister Hatchet fucking went into the pool. Habit and all. It was fucking fantastic. It was like, that's like one of those moments, like one of those really cool moments, involving Sister Hatchet. One of those, it's kind of like one of those you really had to be there kind of moments in order for this fucking shit to be well appreciated. Now, as for the fucking hot tub, like, why is it that the pool water was clear, but fucking the hot tub looked like fucking somebody fucking puked in it? Like they look like that they ate split pea soup and then threw it up in the fucking hot tub. So to try to fucking mind hack it so that way we wouldn't fucking think about how nasty the color of the water was in the hot tub, I turned on the fucking bubbles. So that way we wouldn't have to see this shit and all we saw was fucking bubbles. It kind of sort of worked until everybody got into the fucking hot tub and was dominating the fucking jets. And then everybody's got a jet coming, going into their fucking back to try to relax them. And all you fucking see is fucking split pea soup. I think the joke of that whole thing was like just the mere presence of Jamie Nicole being in that motherfucking hot tub was what made the water green. But nevertheless, though, I mean, it was chill though, fucking doing all that stuff, and Oh yeah, Cold was there too, but he didn't partake in the pool. So like all of us basically fucking chilling like fucking 12-year-old kids. Fucking, we jump in the water and then we get out. We jump in the pool, then we get out of the pool, and then we go into the hot tub, and then we get out of the hot tub and jump back in the pool, wash, rinse, repeat. And we did that for like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. It was funny as hell due to the fact that it was funny as hell to me due to the fact that fucking Guido wasn't in the pool for very long, and his eyes got so fucking red. He looked like he fucking smoked a fucking pound and a half of kush. I thought it was really hilarious. Surprised Wolf didn't take up that whole damn hot tub. Uh, now, like there is that, but I was on no like when I saw Wolf go into the fucking hot tub, the first thing that I was thinking of was Pete in the Goofy movie jumping into the hot tub and all that water fucking comes out, and he's like, people are always putting too much water in these things. Would have been funny though if the same situation happened with Wolf, but obviously they did find enough fucking scum water to fucking put in that goddamn pool. It's just like that was like the major downside. Like the water was nice, it didn't smell bad, but the fact is that like it doesn't look like that they fucking maintain that hot tub at all. Like it legitimately looks horrible. It looks horrible. Like somebody needs to drain that fucking hot tub, bleach the fuck out of it. Get on their hands and knees with a fucking Mr. Clean magic eraser and clean that son of a bitch. And then put water back in it, and I think everything will be fine. It smelled like hot tub water, like they put the fucking chlorine tabs in there and shit, but it's fucking green. Or maybe it's the lighting, I don't know. I have fucking no goddamn clue. So, whatever. Nevertheless, though, more people started fucking showing up. Max ended up fucking showing up. Obviously we had Wolf, we had Fat Jesus, we had Kyle, myself, Jamie Nicole, Guido, and Chronic was there as well, and a lot of other motherfuckers. Like, you have any idea how hard it is to fucking maneuver around this many motherfuckers in a fucking two-bed hotel room? Like, only costs like $30 to make a hot tub pH balance, cheap bastards. Yeah, dude, like fucking what the hell. But nevertheless, though, man, everybody's fucking partying, everybody's fucking drinking. Like Max already got on the fucking drinking tip because apparently he was already there. He just was basically chilling in the fucking room the entire fucking that entire fucking time. Now I probably saw him, but it's kind of a blur. You know what I'm saying? Like chances are pretty good that me first seeing Max at that point, during that day was a blur. As a matter of fact, a lot of shit when it concerns the fucking gathering of the Juggalos is a blur just due to the time frame from now, from the gathering till till this live stream. So nevertheless, though, there was a lot of partying going on, a lot of drinking, and this I thought was actually pretty funny. So Fat Jesus had had a sack of shrooms, and he ended up fucking splitting them with Max. So fucking Max ended up splitting the baggie 50-50 and put them in cups, mixed it with vodka, told him to let it sit for about 10 minutes. I open up my phone and I start a timer on the motherfucking phone. So that way I'm like, okay, so when the timer goes off, it's been 10 minutes. Max was kind of impatient. I guess it was good enough time. And they both ended up doing shroom shots. So like this obviously looked nasty, and it probably tasted nasty just due to seeing Fat Jesus's face once he took that shot. But Fat Jesus definitely fucking did not regret that shit whatsoever. No, I did not actually partake in any fucking nose candy. No toots for me. Not a single rail. Uh, didn't really, never really fucking need that shit. Does that work? Apparently it does, Flannel. Yeah, because Fat Jesus was really fucked up on that shit. Now, what's funny to me about that shit too, And the reason why I brought this up is because I told Jamie Nicole about that shit, and she got all fucking pissy because she wanted mushrooms as well. You know, so like I was just like, like I don't do shit. So it's like I don't understand the whole purpose of giving that much of a fuck. And I'm just like, dude, we're going to the gathering tomorrow. There will be plenty of drugs there. I can guarantee you that you're going to find somebody that is going to have your drug of choice. I can guarantee. Bitch comes with no money and wants handouts. Well, yeah, but I can get a little bit farther into that. We just have to fucking wait. So, while we're here, you know, at some point or another during that day, we all decided that we needed to go and get supplies and stuff like pop, booze, water, uh, some other stuff that we needed, and so we all ended up going to a Walmart. Uh, like I know that me, let's see, yeah, I know that me and Skeletor, uh, fucking Guido, Jimmy Nicole, Kyle, and Tori. I know for a fact that we went. I don't know if anybody else fucking went. I'm pretty sure some other Juggalos did. At some point during that day, I ended up getting myself a new chair. Figured I might want to try to get some Sharpies just in case somebody actually fucking wanted my autograph. I guess, just due to the fact that I do this stuff, I figured you never know. There might be at least one person that's going to recognize me to that level to where they're going to want my autograph. And I'm pretty sure of that just due to that factor. I know that Child's Play Ninja is going to be at the gathering, so I'm pretty sure he's going to have a couple of ninjas that are going to want his autograph as well. And we have Guido. And Guido's like a major RLP guy. I remember last year at Hallowicked, like put it to you this way: Guido has not done a video on YouTube in months, and fucking at Hallowicked, somebody actually came up to him and fucking recognized him. There's like, holy shit, you're real Guido. And he's like, yeah, gives him a dap, and then he turns around, he's like, I don't even know who the fuck that is. And I'm like, that's kind of the point. Like, none of us know who these people fucking are. Like, for a vast majority of it. Like, not a whole lot of us really know who our fans are. That's why they're fans. They're people that fucking watch us. I don't know people in, like, the only few people that I actually know in real life are the people that I've met up with at shows, events, and the gathering. And then there's also Tucker, because I see his face all the time in a sexy ass fucking hat. See, I got recognized a lot, but not like CPN. And if you want to talk most clout, most fans, then that be Flip Flop. He's way more Jugga famous than all of us. So start licking feet if you want all the clout. No, I'm good. I'm good on that one. Like everybody's got their fucking kink. Feet is public feet. Definitely not one of them. For me, so let Flip Flop do his fucking thing. See, I wanted you to autograph one of your shirts at Fury Fest. I didn't see after the show. Dude, fucking Dustin, I hung out, like, afterwards. Like, me and, like, it was, yeah, dude, like we were hanging out in the front and shit, after the show. So, like, I didn't see you, and I was hanging out with all of the crew from fucking Carnival Spirits that were there. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know, Dustin. I'm sure that you and I will cross paths at some point, and I'll try to make sure that I have a Sharpie with me. Yeah, if you're going to Hallowicked, I'm going to Hallowicked too. So, bring your shit, and I'll fucking sign it there. Nevertheless, going on with that, so like we ended up getting water and Uh, of course, you know, fucking Jamie Nicole ended up fucking getting a bunch of Red Bull and shit like that. Now, one thing that I will say that's one thing that I will say too, and I forgot to fucking mention this. When we got to the fucking hotel, they said it was going to be like $412 and some change. Well, luckily for me, Guido fucking was willing to pay half of that fucking shit, but he only gave me $100 because he said that that's all that he had, just loose. So that way he had some money that he'd be able to buy merch and stuff at the gathering, which is fine. I understand. It's very understandable. You're at an event, you're gonna want to buy stuff, and so he gave me 100 cash, and he still owes me $100. But he lost his job before the gathering, so and I'm a patient guy, so once he has that shit set up, once he's kosher, then I'll start bugging him probably. So Guido actually is not rich as fuck, Aces King. So yeah, so we go to Walmart, we buy our shit, we fucking go back to the hotel, we continue fucking partying. And then of course you end up seeing fucking the Kyle Driver Power Hour while we're at the hotel with him and his shitty ass fucking MacBook. He tried to do everything in his power to actually make it so that way it was a decent looking show and everything, but he has a fucking MacBook that's like out of this generation. So he's trying to use this MacBook, and on top of that, he's also trying to bounce it off the fucking Wi-Fi in the hotel, which that's basically the equivalent of 28.8, like dial-up. Fucking no matter what hotel you fucking go to, chances are pretty good that their Wi-Fi is dog shit. Never fucking do that. If anything, I probably would have given him better service if I just bounced my phone and fucking made it into a fucking hotspot. That would have been a lot better and a lot faster for his fucking laptop to do that. And at some point or another, like he was about ready to fucking give up. He really wanted to fucking do this shit. And I was like, dude, I brought my fucking laptop. We can just do a live stream off of that. And then we can just fuck around on my fucking laptop. And of course, during that time, like, the Kyle Driver Power Hour and fucking, you know, Kyle's still doing his fucking shtick with Big Will, which, Big Will, by the way, he never fucking showed at the fucking gathering. So, I mean, it sure is a shame that Big Will did not show up at the fucking gathering. It sure is a damn fucking shame. Instead, what did he do? He was in Flint, just sitting there. Just sitting there. I think that kind of fucking sucks because it would have been awesome to have Big Will at the fucking gathering. Oh well, I guess. But during that live stream also, like, I ended up getting to watch Guido fucking troll the shit out of Big Will. He trolled Big Will so fucking hard that Big Will actually unfriended him on Facebook. Like, their friendship is over and it's Facebook official, which I thought was kind of funny. It was like, wow, dude, you're real. Like, I mean, Guido really didn't even say much. Like, the one thing that I remember Guido actually saying to Big Will was, dude, I have not done a fucking video on my YouTube channel in months. And if I actually, and if I fucking, I think he said, if I were to do a live stream on my channel right now, it would probably be more viewers watching my channel than you could fill a fucking show. And I was like, God damn, dude, that's actually pretty fucking savage, Big Will. I'm just saying. So, okay, so Big Will is actually saying that Guido unfriended him. That's actually interesting. Yeah, Big Billiam probably wanted to go, but money was tight. Well, I mean, like the next day, like, I will say this, I saw Frank Nitti there at the gathering, so I was wondering why Big Will didn't show up. I saw Frank Nitti at the fucking gathering. Big Will, you didn't drive Frank Nitti to the fucking gathering? Oh well, it is what it is. So, I mean, I saw that shit with my own 4 eyes, and I was like, damn, that's actually rather savage that Guido would fucking say that. I don't know if Guido was actually being legit about it or not. I thought it was actually a pretty good fucking line. Um, but I mean, yeah, the Bender boys are saying that Big Will dominates, but Big Will does fear the rub and tug super kick. Like that's why he didn't show. But I will say this though too, Big Will, like that interaction actually happened prior to anything that went on between him and Jamie Nicole. I will say that. Things did not actually start happening with them until probably sometime in mid day one. What so after the partying and all of that other stuff, once again, it was another night of sleeplessness and all of that stuff. So, like, we get up and we get dressed, we, take a shower, not in that particular order, like any other normal human being. We shower first and then fucking go to the gathering after we get dressed, and then we go to the fucking gathering. And so, like, we go in there, and fucking Jamie Nicole has to buy her ticket, I guess, while I dropped them off at the entrance, and I went to go find a place to fucking park. And then I walked back, and I guess by that time, already ended up bumping into Scrappy and a couple of other people that were chilling over there too. And fucking what ends up let's see what I guess at some point or another, like, me and Guido were all just chilling and shit. And we left our stuff with Scrappy, and then and one of the things that I brought with me also was my Super NES Mini. So, because like I was actually under the impression that we were gonna have like a giant projector set up, and I was gonna be able to fucking hook up my Super NES to a projector, and we'd be able to fucking game while we were fucking at the campsite, at the Jugganati campsite. So, but unfortunately that never happened. Sure, once again, that sure is a damn fucking shame that that didn't happen. But nevertheless, though, so back to what I was saying. So we end up fucking going in. We go in. I drop them off. We drop our stuff off at Scrappy. I asked Scrappy if he could watch over my shit. And so me and Guido go get our fucking wristbands, which I still have mine on. And so we get our stuff, we get our charm, we get the itinerary, all of that shit. Jamie Nicole, I guess at this point in time, got the $200 from Violent George, and she went to go get her ticket. And we go hang out with Scrappy for a little while longer. Scrappy was waiting on his friend Gypsy before he actually went in, and then me and fucking Guido and Jamie Nicole started walking our way in. They tried to tell us that we had to walk around because the straightaway entrance to get into the gathering was not open. Well, it seems like everybody else is fucking walking that way, so fuck you. And we just walked in there. Now we stopped at somebody else's site because like there was something else that I forgot out of the car. So I walked back to the car. I grabbed I grabbed whatever else that I needed to fucking grab. I walked back. We grabbed the rest of our stuff, and we walked in. So like long ass fucking entrance, going going the long path. Um, I couldn't tell you, but like at least there wasn't a hill. I mean, at least we didn't know that there was a fucking hill until we actually got in the motherfucker. But we were walking our way through and everything, and we ended up seeing Wolf come by on a fucking golf cart, and he ends up like he's got a bunch of people there on his shit, and he just stops and he says, "Wait right here. I'm gonna come back and I'll pick you up." And we sat there and we were just sitting there, and we waited for probably about 20-30 minutes waiting on Wolf with the golf cart. I was like, hey, this is actually pretty cool, so we don't have to fucking walk. Let's just sit here in the shade and fucking chill. So we fucking chill, and Wolf eventually comes and picks us up, and he's like, So we're fucking chit chatting and shit, and I was like, so, what the fuck, so like, where's everybody at right now? Is everybody at the fucking Jugganati tent or at the Jugganati campsite, or is everybody over at the fucking, uh, over at the fucking show? And he's like, everybody's at the fucking show. I said, okay, take us to the fucking site so we can drop some of our shit off, and then, and then after that we can, I'm just gonna drop I just want to drop a couple of things off, and then fucking go to the show at Cannibal House. So we fucking did, that, and we ended up hanging out the entire fucking time. I ended up fucking just hanging out over at the fucking Jugganati show for the benefit show for Asylum at Cannibal's house, meeting up with everybody that was there. I noticed how many fucking people we had at that bitch. We were about 60 juggalos deep in that motherfucker. That's everybody in the fucking Jugganati. That's that's a few people. That's that also included Carnival Spirits, a lot of other people that were just and then there was like a ton of other people that were just fucking chilling, trying to see what the hell was going on at Cannibal House. So I thought that was great. And of course, I ended up bumping into fucking Sid Jones and some other people from Rocks TV. And how I come across all of that shit is because the fucking Bender Boys were there, and so like they were there, kind of giving shit to fucking, kind of fucking giving shit to Sid Jones. And prior to the gathering and stuff, like, because of a fucking patch on his vest, like, everybody was trying to fucking say, oh, dude, you got racist regalia on your fucking shit, so I'm gonna beat your ass at the fucking gathering. He had to explain himself to everybody and basically say, look, it's not a fucking racism thing. Which, like, I get the whole message behind the fucking patch. I do. It doesn't have anything to do with racism. It's one of those things when it concerns fucking the Sex Pistols, So, and on top of that, like, people like fucking, people like the fucking Sex Pistols. They were very, very anarchy, like, they were pro-anarchy, anarcho-punk. So, so like the type of shit that was going on, of course, that's, that kind of fucking attitude that was going on with that, like, they were fucking, like, they wanted anarchy. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't just limited to the fucking UK. Nevertheless, you're right, Tucker. He knew he was pushing the envelope. But like, I was watching how Lord Zero and specifically Lord Zero and KJ Riddle, and how they were reacting just to the mere presence of Sid Jones. And personally, I think it's fucking hilarious. For guys who do a lot of things that involve domination, I honestly looked at that and I was like, that shit is absolutely hilarious. Palm. And that's basically how it went. Like, Sid knew that was going to cause controversy, and that's why he fucking did it. Basically, you guys ended up eating out of the palm of his hand because you were giving him the reaction that he was actually looking for. And I thought that was kind of funny. Because the thing about it is that I know Sid's not fucking racist. He can be controversial, but he's definitely not fucking racist. And that's the thing. If he was racist, he would have had an issue with Papa. He would have had an issue with CPN. He would have had issues with a lot of fucking people. Like, just being around in that general vicinity. He would have had issues even just being in Cannibal House because Cannibal was black. And yet Sid was there. Sid was doing that type of shit. I know that's what you said, KJ Riddle. And I could see the fucking anger on you. like the entire fucking time. Like that's why when I saw that shit, I pulled KJ over to the side and just was like, dude, you know, he's not doing this shit for real. Like he's not really racist. Like he's doing this shit to fucking stir shit up. And KJ was like, I don't care. I just don't want him around me. I don't want anybody that's fucking around. You know, I don't want anybody around me that's got that kind of fucking type of regalia on them. You know, like or something to that. You know, or something comparable to what I just said. He basically said that he didn't want him around because of the fucking Swazi patch, which, you know, whatever. I was like, dude, that's like it's exactly what he fucking wants. Is he wants that kind of fucking thing, like, and you know, so I think it's a, you know, nevertheless, I think it was actually rather funny. So there were a couple of people that I actually missed out on seeing. I was late to the show, so I ended up missing out on watching Shade. I missed out on watching 216, you know, to missing 216Z. I can't remember exactly who it was that was on the fucking set at the time that I showed up, but I remember, I believe Inappropriate was coming up at that point. And I ended up fucking staying throughout the duration of that entire time. Fucking hanging out and chilling with everybody, talking, joking, having a good time, things of that nature. Now, I thought that, you know, but you know, the one thing that I do find very fucking full of win when it concerned that event at Cannibal House was somebody ended up fucking making so somebody ended up taking a giant picture of Chuck Reeves and put it on a fucking piece of wood and cut the hole in his mouth and propped it up kind of like the game of bags. So, except instead of throwing fucking bean bags, like you had to fucking take these small rubber chickens that you could put on your finger, stretch it out, and you had to aim and shoot it into Chuck's mouth. So they basically just made a game and called it Hot Chicken. I was like, that is fucking genius. That is some fucking ingenious shit. Oh, Sugar Scoliosis made that? Dude, that is fucking awesome. Yeah, so major props go out to Sugar Scoliosis for that. You know, so I mean, and I'll say this though, you know, because CPN was fucking hosting the event. You know, like it made it very hard for CPN and I to fucking, you know, say what up and shit. Like I gave him a dap when I had the chance, and then after that, I was just like, okay, I know he's busy, so I'm gonna go do my own thing. So I fucking walked around and I bumped into, you know, I bumped into to Casper, I bumped into fucking, you know, obviously I bumped into Zay, I bumped into fucking D-Lyrical at some point, gave him a big hug. Introduced myself to Trey Pound at that point. You know, Trey Pound's actually a rather humble and cool motherfucker. I like Trey Pound. Trey Pound is fucking good people. You know, I like the fact that, you know, he has his own thing going and he doesn't basically piggyback. You know, like he does not under any circumstances piggyback off of his older brother and his success. That's actually, you know, that's actually notable. I like that about Trey Pound. He's doing his own fucking thing. He makes it, you know, I mean, he's not going to make it a secret or anything like that he's Shaggy Two Dope's little brother, but nevertheless, you know, on the, you know, like he's still going to be like, no, I'm not riding that coattail. I'm doing my own thing. That's no, you know, that's honorable. That's very honorable of him to be able to do that. So, and on top of that, I also ended up bumping into Tommy James over there at Cannibal House and a bunch of other people. Now, one thing I will say is like, okay, for a vast majority of the fucking time that I was there at Cannibal House, the backstage area was nothing but Jugganati motherfuckers. Like, we rolled that fucking Jugganati backstage area and we're fucking kicking it and chilling, drinking, smoking, laughing until Maximum Overload fucking had to go up on stage. And at that given point in time, all of us were like right up in the front, fucking like going ham, rapping to every fucking lyric that we possibly could come up and fucking rap over. I mean, like a lot of us already had downloaded the fucking shit off of Spotify. You know, Max's album. A lot of us have already downloaded it off of the fucking, off of the music apps, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, uh, fucking Google Play Music, which, by the way, they're still available on there. So go on any music platform that you can and fucking do a search for Maximum Overload. Do that right now. And then download the motherfucker and play the fuck out of it. I'm telling you that. Product placement, and I'm not even getting paid for the advertisement. So there is that. After that, we ended up fucking just going back into the backstage and fucking chilling and shit. Now, here's one thing that I want to point out, okay? The chick from Inappropriate has a giant fucking donk. Like, she is pog like a motherfucker, okay? And at some point, I'm sitting here, and I've got my kendo stick in my hand, and I'm looking at her ass. And I'm just like, God damn, I totally want to fucking hit that with my big, thick wood. Double entendre. But, I'm pretty sure that is like, I think, I don't know. I don't know anything about her, so I can only assume as much that she was dating the dude that was in the fucking group. So I'm like, or they're married or something like that. So it's like, okay, I can keep my composure. I'm not going to fucking smack her on the ass with this kendo stick. It would be fun, but I'm not going to. Now, so at some point or another, like I ended up also bumping into Casper, our Casper, the female Casper, not the other fucking Casper that was that's on Rock's TV. Not that dude, the chick, the one that we all know. So, like, I ended up bumping into her. She was fucking wasted, and it was surprisingly very easy. It was very easy for us to have an actual conversation. Even though it was loud and she was drunk, I was actually able to hold a very good conversation with her. Oh, fucking. Well, I guess, hey, somebody could probably, does anybody have the fucking link to, does anybody have the link to, buy the physical copy of Max's album? Does Max have a DL version? Max's album is on Google, iTunes, and Spotify, and I know that it's on a lot of other stuff. So you could probably go to any digital app and be able to download it off of that. If not, you can at least stream it. And if you're, if you're fucking, if you're actually fucking like subscribing to one of these music apps, then you can download it that way. That's what I did. I downloaded Max's album in full on both Spotify as well as downloading it off of Google on both of my phones. So I've downloaded the album like 4 times. And any chance that I fucking get, I definitely I definitely take care of that shit. Okay, so let's see. Copy the link. Okay, so here we go. So here's the link right here. I just posted the link in the chat. That is where you need to go if you want to buy and order a physical copy of Max's album, and it's fire, dude. The album actually has featured artists such as Trey Pound, Shaggy 2 Dope, and Ouija Mac. Definitely fucking bangers. Actually, the whole album is pretty fucking tight. But we'll get into that at another fucking time, or on somebody else's stream. We'll probably end up fucking talking about it at some point. So day 1 is almost complete at this given point in time. Hi, kitty. Yeah, the green screen effect does not do well for your fur. So anyways, yeah, so like it started, so I think, yeah, the shit ended at about like 6 o'clock, 6:15, something like that. Trey was late, so D-Lyrical, who was supposed to be headlining the Cannibal House stage, ended up actually instead fucking doing that shit. And then Trey Pound showed up, and then he headlined the fucking Cannibal House stage. So after that, it was probably about like 6:15 by the time that was done. Actually, this is a female, and she's fixed, so definitely no balls whatsoever on this cat. Just asshole. Like, are you trying to show butthole? I'm talking about the gathering, and here you are trying to show butthole. Yep, that's what it was, wasn't it? Yep, showing butthole. Nah, the cat's being kosher. Yeah. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Nevertheless, though, so like I've got 2 hours to kill, so we end up fucking chilling out at the Jugganati site, and I think that's when me, um, I know me, Casper, and somebody else ended up fucking deciding to walk up the hill, and this was my first experience to fucking that fucking hill. This was my first time walking up that motherfucker. And because of the fact that I was with short and or fat people, we had to stop like 3 or 4 fucking times. By the time I got up to the top, man, I was fucking starving. So I ended up having, by the stroke of luck, I had one of my debit cards that had some money on it, and I ended up fucking going and buying myself a fucking corn dog. Corn dog is fucking huge. This is like, it's this fucking long. Like, the corn dog is this fucking long. And so so what I did was I bought the fucking corn dog, and they had a bottle of sriracha, so I just like one whole line, of sriracha over the fucking corn dog, and I fucking mouthed that shit. And then we start walking to go watch the show at main stage, and I'm like, okay, so I'm still hungry after this fucking corn dog. And somebody left a bunch of old cold food on the side of one of these fucking places. No, I didn't dip it in mayonnaise like Chronic. Like, no, for me, it was just straight up sriracha. So, anyways, yeah, like somebody ended up leaving some food behind. So, like, uh, we fucking took it. It was free, so to hell with it. You can't say no to free food, especially it was like chicken nuggets and stuff. So cold chicken, and it still tasted good even after fucking dunking it into the fucking, even dunking it in barbecue sauce. Now you guys can go ahead, like you guys could probably go ahead and say that that's disgusting and shit, but this actually took me back to 2002 at my first fucking gathering of the Juggalos, and CPN actually shares this story, even though it was a different time frame than the one that I'm talking about now. Because at some point, man, I was in the fucking room. I was in the wrestling room where they had the fucking, where they had like all of the carnival food shit and stuff. And like we were just eating nachos. Me and the girl that I was with in 2002 at the gathering, like we were just eating nachos that fucking people left behind. So, like, in this consideration, this was the same situation. It was like, dude, you can't fucking say no to free shit. So me and fucking Casper ended up sharing like a fucking 10-piece of chicken nuggets from this booth, and then we go and sat down and we found Scrappy and we fucking hung out with Scrappy. Now, one thing I forgot to mention too is like at some point during the fucking Jugganati benefit show, fucking that's when Don Chaos showed up. And quite a few people were actually surprised that Don Chaos showed up. But honestly, quite a few of us, and I think Shanzi is one of the guys in this particular situation. It was like, dude, we had, like, I don't know if you realize this, Dorn, but listen, Dorn, come on, Gord. You got to realize something. When you kept on fucking making this announcement, I'm not going to go to the gathering. I'm not going to be at the gathering. All of this fucking bullshit that's been going on with the fucking the beefs and stuff like that. It's just like, dude, we kind of figured that you were like more often than not fucking kayfabing. Like both myself and Shanzi were practically like 98% sure that you were kayfabing and that you were going to be at the fucking gathering. So when I saw you, my reaction wasn't like, oh my god, Don actually showed up, swerve, or anything like that. Me, on the other hand, I was like, kind of figured, what up? Um, Licks, you're gonna have to be a little bit more specific on when D-Lyrical was not lit and I was around. Like D-Lyrical was fucking Dale was lit the entire fucking gathering. Every time I saw him, he was sloshed. Like shit. Go watch the fucking Jugganati footage that Brooklyn Menace put up when he was on the fucking set. He's on stage drinking Gentleman Jack while he's rapping. It's fucking hilarious. Like, that dude fucking wasted the entire goddamn time. D-Lyrical makes Big Will look sober. This is definite truth. So, um, okay, at some point in time, while during the time that I was up on stage, like not on stage, but like within the vicinity of the stage. By the time I sat down, Ritz was getting ready to play, and I was like, "Look, I've seen Ritz before. This is no different than his tour performance." So like, I really wasn't getting all geeked about fucking seeing Ritz. I've seen Ritz. This was practically the same fucking show. Somebody else showed up. I can't remember who it was exactly, but what really I think was like by dark. I'm chilling out with Don Chaos. I think that that Nunaho chick was with him for a little bit, but then she ended up dipping off. So it's me, Don Chaos, and Casper, and we're all fucking chilling. And I'm trying to, like I'm sitting here, I'm trying to fucking, I'm having a conversation with Casper still now, and now at this point in time, like I'm starting to realize that about 98% of the things that she's fucking talking is all negative shit. Now I can understand that there's a lot of shit that she's got going on in her personal life at home, but this is like the fucking gathering, you know? Like, you got, like, I understand if you're fucking behind on bills and stuff like that, but this is the fucking gathering. Dude, I'm fucking behind on bills. I'm still fucking behind on bills, and it's been a month since the gathering, and I'm behind on fucking bills. Take your fucking bills and shove it, as far as I'm concerned, because that's exactly what I fucking did. Like I did not give a shit about my fucking bills or anything back in Michigan while I was at the gathering. Now, I don't get me wrong, I love Casper to death, but I don't want to hear about this shit all the fucking time at the gathering. Especially since when I've got on my right, I've got Casper talking about this stuff, and then to my left, I have Guido and Jamie Nicole fucking laying down and getting all fucking cuddly and shit. Now, I don't know exactly what happened about this because like I'm looking to the left and I see Guido and like and Jamie Nicole is like fucking cuddling all up to her and he's like spooning the fuck out of her. And I didn't find out until after Morris Day and the Time, because after Morris Day and the Time, which was fucking great because like I'm dancing to the whole fucking time, whether I'm standing up or sitting down. Like I'm fucking dancing and doing my thing, enjoying myself the fuck. I'm enjoying me some fucking Morris Day and Jerome, son. Like I loved that. I loved the fact that I was there, and to experience Morris Day and the Time. But then the show ends up fucking going, and we end up walking away, and then all of a sudden we start hearing. And I'm like, oh man, they fucking waited until they did an encore show thing in order to fucking do Jungle Love. I was like, but like, we were already on our way walking back to the fucking Bender Boys campsite which of course Casper had to fucking complain about walking that far too. And I was like, dude, the hill doesn't look as bad as the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that bad. Shanzi, no, just no. You're talking fucking bet not no. You're naughty, Shanzi. Don't be just sitting there fucking acting like you eat chili with no cheese, telling me that the time sucked ass. Fuck you. Nevertheless, though, I mean, I still enjoyed it. As we were even walking over to the fucking Bender Boys and listening to Morris Day and the Time and fucking playing Jungle Love and shit, I'm fucking dancing to it. Like, I'm doing the fucking footwork to fucking Jungle Love as we're walking and shit, and somehow I didn't fucking trip. I'm surprised I didn't. When we get to the Bender Boys campsite, we get to the fucking Bender Boys campsite, and they've already had the time of their life. Turns out that what they're doing is they're throwing fucking glow sticks at vehicles. Anytime that a vehicle fucking crossed by, they fucking did. They were throwing shit at them. So it's like, fuck it, man. We're gonna get into it too. I love throwing things. And then anytime that we had to take a piss, there was a fucking cornfield on the other side of a fucking fence. And so we could just piss in the cornfield. Fuck taking a piss. Until like one of the juggalettes in our fucking crew decides that they have to go to the bathroom or something like that. And just good luck finding a fucking porta potty anywhere near here. Because there's a fucking field right there. Just drop trout, bend over, and fucking stream it out into the fucking cornfield. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Like me, on the other hand, I don't have to fucking worry about this shit. I pissed in your garden, fam. Like, that's the way I looked at it, just saying, fuck it, I pissed in your fucking garden. Based on what people said about Jamie and from my own observations, Jamie wouldn't mind having a train pulled on her. Oh, dude, fucking Jamie Nicole for Raw Dog 2020. Like, fuck it. Kreyz would have made an Eiffel Tower. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, at the same time, I was sober the entire fucking gathering. Now, it turns out a couple of things. One thing turned out that the reason why Guido was being so fucking lovey-dovey about that shit was because Danny Boy, who claims it wasn't him, it was actually Twizzler Todd, fucking was driving a fucking golf cart that they were on, and Chronic jumped on it at the exact same time that he was trying to turn. The weight distribution was off, and it fucking tipped over. Now, one thing that I will say is this. Jamie Nicole tried to make it sound like fucking it didn't just tip over, like it fucking rolled. Like okay, in video game terms, and you know me, so I'm going to fucking use video game terms. If you've ever played Twisted Metal 3 and you're fucking firing the guns at if you're getting shot by your enemy with a fucking machine gun and your fucking car just keeps on flipping over and over and over, that's what they made it sound like when Danny Boy flipped the cart. Like, they fucking flipped it over and just like rolled or something like that, and it was hard to stop because it was at a decline on that fucking hill. And it was like, from what I gathered, that was all fucking made up. I'm going to agree with the Bender Boys on this in saying that it tipped on its side and nothing more. So Jamie Nicole is basically talking about having to fucking gather the rest of the fucking weekend with a broken freaking neck and having a fucking, a self-diagnosed fucking concussion this entire goddamn time. And it's like, what? Like, there was a lot of shit that ended up fucking being said that were fucking lies this entire fucking weekend, and both of them ended up coming from Jamie Nicole and Guido. So, like, that was one thing that I ended up learning that night, was the fact that, that's the reason why Jamie Nicole and Guido were all so fucking hunky-dory, lovey-lovey the entire time. Now, you could probably say that the way that I'm explaining shit might sound like sour grapes. It's not. Whatso fucking ever. to be totally honest, like from from the time that we were at Cannibal's house all the way to the point that we met up with them while Morris Day was playing, that wasn't even on my mind at all. Jamie Nicole was not on my mind at all. I could have given a shit or a fuck less about any of any goings on when it concerned Jamie Nicole. Um, Now, the one thing that I will say is that it was actually cool that they did find us and fucking, were there. So as far as I'm concerned, like that shit I'm cool with. And I was kind of expecting the rest of the fucking gathering to be somewhat like this, where they would actually, where Jamie and Guido would eventually meet up with me at one of two campsites, and we'd be able to fucking all head back over to the fucking hotel and shit and get some sleep. But of course, what happens day two really makes it so that obviously did not fucking happen. So that was one thing that I fucking found out that day. The second thing that I found out that day was the fucking Bender Boys trolling tactics has absolutely no fucking bounds. And some of the shit that they told me that they were fucking doing was like they were trolling everybody. And it wasn't just limited to the fucking, throwing fucking what the fuck? Yeah, throwing glow sticks and stuff at cars. When the fucking love trains came up to it, I can't remember what they decided to call them this time. But fuck it, they're the love trains. When the love train came by, fucking exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yep, yep. Fucking Violent George and Necessary Evil know exactly what the fuck I'm about to say. They Prego the trolleys. Violent George bought a shit ton of fucking Prego, cracked that bitch open. You like Prego? Because Prego likes you. Yeah, so anybody who got fucking meat flavored Prego thrown at them, sorry and shit about your fucking brand new jersey. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should have walked. So we ended up hanging out over there and stuff, and I can't remember if I walked back to the Jugganati site that night or if I stayed there. But I did get into conversation with CPN, and during this day one, rumors were starting to spread that the fucking cops were basically pulling over Juggalos as soon as they were pulling out of the fucking gathering. And because of the fact that both of my taillights were fucked, I didn't want to risk getting fucking pulled over. So I asked CPN if he could drop me off at the fucking, if he could drop me off at the fucking hotel. I guess Guido and Jamie got a ride back with either Kyle and Tori, or they got a ride back with Casper. But I went with Child's Play Ninja. And so before Child's Play Ninja took me to my hotel so I could go get some sleep, we ended up having to take a pit stop over at fucking Walmart, because he has a thing about getting new underwear and socks anytime that he goes to a major event like this. So like we stopped and we ended up getting that shit. He asked me if I wanted a candy bar, and I ended up getting a candy bar, but I left it in his car. So, like I still remember fucking getting a goddamn Snickers, but it is what it is. So, so basically the plan was my car stays at the gathering. CPN was going to drop me off at the hotel. We get some sleep. CPN was going to come over and fucking hang out. And that's pretty much what happened the next day. Like, he went back to his hotel. He got a little bit of sleep. He came back to come pick me up. And by that time, I was fucking doing a live stream talking about the aftermath of day one. Apparently, some people thought that it was like 20 minutes of me fucking talking about how many Jugganati were there. Well, what the fuck do you expect? Like, this was what I was expecting. This is what I paid my hard-earned money for. Yes, some of these fucking events were actually pretty fucking cool about everything that was going on, but the reality is I knew that the Jugganati was going to be rolling deeper this year than last year. Last year we had about 35 fucking ninjas from the Jugganati alone. This year we had somewhere roughly around 60. We almost doubled the number of Jugganati members that were fucking chilling. And next year I'd like to see a few more, you know? So once again, next year if you don't gather, you still don't matter. Now, so day 2 comes by and we fucking, CPN comes and picks me up and we go over to the gathering. We start walking, and one of the first things I remember CPN actually saying to me that stuck with me was, "Bro, is it just me, or does this already feel like it's the last day of the gathering?" I was like, "Dude, it's day 2, but yeah, kind of." On the way there, we ended up bumping into into Les, I should say. My bad. Les. The guy who fucking runs over TMC fucking people with his awesome ass golf cart. Like he kills motherfuckers with his golf cart, especially ones that like are trying to fucking roll a documentary and shit. Um, of course, that didn't happen until later, and I wasn't privy to watching Les trying to kill a fucking documentarist. Nevertheless, though, we ended up bumping into Les, and I introduced myself to Les, and that was really cool. We ended up talking about the whole Dom Pell situation, about how Les beat the shit out of Dom Pell, which is still fucking awesome and funny at the same time. No, Shanzi, I don't legitimately think it was a TMZ dude. It was just some rando that was like trying to fucking do a documentary at the gathering. Like, there's always one person that always has to fucking do a documentary because they hear all the negative shit about the gathering, and then they go there and I guess other than this asshole who apparently tried to fucking play chicken with Les at night with no license to fucking drive a golf cart or a bike or anything like that. Fucking nevertheless, whatever. So we ended up talking about the whole Dom Pell thing, and it was fucking hilarious. We also ended up talking about Vinny Reader from the 215 Ninjas, who apparently has a fucking problem with Child's Play Ninja. And Les ended up saying, "Dude, like that's not 215 shit. That's fucking Vinny Reader shit." So like I don't fucking roll with shit that he fucking says just because we're both from the same fucking crew. Which I think, in all honesty, like that's something to be said about any fucking crew. Like there are certain people in the Jugganati that do dumb shit, but that does not mean that it should really reflect on the things that go on in the fucking Jugganati. You know what I'm saying? We all know that there are people that claim Jugganati that do dumb fucking shit. But it's not even fucking Jugganati related. It has nothing to do with the Jugganati as a whole. The things that one person fucking in the Jugganati does not reflect on me. That reflects on that person. And that's the way I fucking look at it. So we walk up. We're on our way over to fucking Bender Boys camp. Me and CPN continue to fucking walk and our pace and stuff. And some ninja is walking opposite us, and he fucking turns around. And he's like, "Doe, is that KreyzMcKormik and Child's Play Ninja?" And I looked at him and I looked at Raya and I was like, "I got recognized before you did. What the fuck bizarro world are we living in?" Like I said all of that in my head. Like this guy fucking recognized me before he recognized Child's Play Ninja. What the fuck? Like that makes no goddamn sense to me. What world are we living in where I actually get recognized before CPN does? Like I only have like a fucking 14th of his fucking subscriber base, maybe a 7th, maybe even somewhere in between that. And yet I got recognized for that. Was I don't know. I was kind of actually fucking flabbergasted at that. On top of that, I was also flabbergasted at the fact that dude wanted our fucking autographs. That's dope. I was like, I thought I had my fucking Sharpie on me and stuff, but apparently I misplaced it. So I was like, dude, we're on our way over to the Bender Boys camp. Why don't you fucking come with us? And as far as and we'll see if somebody else has a fucking Sharpie. If somebody else at the campsite has a Sharpie, we'll fucking sign your shit. And CPN agreed, and fucking so like he followed us and he was talking and chilling with us and stuff. So we go over to the Bender Boys camp, and the first thing I hear is boo coming from Mitch. Destroyer booing the fuck out of us. And I'm like, what the hell? So I ended up getting the explanation of what the fuck was going on. KJ Riddle gave us a fucking Sharpie, and both me and CPN signed his shit. He had a fucking basketball jersey that had 17 on the back, so I signed it in between the 1 and the 7. So like, and CPN signed it too. I don't know exactly where. But yeah, so like I ended up coming to find that, okay, apparently anybody with a fucking vehicle that crosses the Bender Boys path is getting booed. Anybody that's got fucking titties, nice hang downs and wait until they fucking leave and you can see their ass. What them cheeks do. And then on top of that, everybody was fucking talking like Slayer 17. Everybody talking about domination. Like, it didn't matter if it actually sounded Q to how Slayer 17 sounds when he fucking does the Slayer 17 voice. Everybody knows the way that he talks. And so everybody's going to make that noise talking like the 17. And that's basically what we did for a vast majority of the fucking day. It turned out that they've been doing that shit since like 8 o'clock that fucking morning. I thought it was hilarious as fuck. So all of us are fucking just constantly responding in the Slayer 17 voice back and forth. And even in mid conversation, we'd see a car, boo, boo. And then there'd be like 2 cars coming this way, 1 car, boo, 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 boo. It was like half, and then we'd just get back into our fucking conversations. It just was like as if it never fucking happened. Now, at some point during this time, EMS fucking pulled up and they fucking G-style skidded right into the fucking area. And they're like, why the hell do you keep fucking booing us? Like, we're trying to save your asses, and here you are trying to boo us. It's like, if you keep booing us, we're gonna blacklist you if any of you fucks overdose or something to that effect. So all of a sudden, all of us are looking at each other, and we all just go, yay! And we yayed the EMS from there on out. Like, we booed the fuck out of everybody. And then if EMS came by, we went, yeah! You know, we yayed them. Didn't matter if they had bikes, didn't matter if they had motorcycles, ATVs, golf carts, even vehicles. We even booed the fuck out of one guy that was like yelling "fuck yo sleep" constantly. Like, we booed the fuck out of the "fuck yo sleep" guy, and the "fuck yo sleep" guy was kind of like, I don't know. It seemed like it was kind of like combative between the Bender Boys and the "fuck yo sleep" dude, which was fucking hilarious. The entire time being in the Bender Boys camp was really fucking fun. Just doing all of that shit. I don't, like I said before, like time frame wise and shit like that, like this is just how it's being percepted in my head. So, whatever. Shut up, Destroyer. Boo. Anyways, at some point or another, my voice was actually starting to go, and I wanted to actually go and fucking hang out with some of the other guys from the other opposite side of the fucking gathering. So I fucking went and I fucking hung out with the Jugganati at some point. Boo. So I walked down fuck that hill. Actually, no. I fucking jogged down fuck that hill. Like, everybody else was kind of like tiptoeing down the hill and shit. I'm just like fucking jogging. I jogged down that motherfucker and got my ass over to the fucking Jugganati site. You know, Peasant Hill. Is that the small one or the big one? Like, which one are you considering Peasant Hill? Like the one that goes from the Ballas site over to main stage, or the one that goes or are you talking about the one that goes from the fucking vendors at the bottom of the big fucking hill and going all the way up? What up, Madness? Whichever hill led to the poor people's campsite. Like that one everybody just been calling fuck that hill. Like I thought Peasant Hill would have been the one that goes from the Ballas over to main stage, cause like that one wasn't as bad. Like that one would be the peasant of the fucking hills. Like that big hill, honestly, like the only time that I actually had problems with that hill was the first time I walked up it. Other than that, it wasn't shit to me. But it is what it is. Yeah, that is one thing too, man. Like everybody was fucking nanging, like fucking Bender Boys and Positive Vibes on that Nang gang for real. Oh, Peasant Hill refers to the peasants camping at the bottom of it. So don't you think it would have been I don't know, like I've been calling the very steep hill that goes from Shazam stage all the way up to the merch booths and main stage and all of that shit. Like that one, I've been thinking, fuck that hill. Like every fucking gathering that they've had since they started campsiting has a fucking fuck that hill. So I go down and go to the fucking Bender Boys, go from the Bender Boys, go down fuck that hill, and I actually did notice that there were a lot of cars that were parked on the side of the fucking hill, and at one point I actually stopped and I found one that had a thick a thick amount of dust on the windows. I think I can't remember if it was a Dodge Charger or if it was just some regular bucket, but I actually took my finger and I wrote "show the stain" on one of the fucking windows with my finger. So I'm like, I hope that they like once that dust fucking comes off, my fingerprint is still there. Show the stain. Fuck it. Like I thought it was hilarious. Fuck them. Dude, seriously, if you took a shot for every time that you saw a car uh, with a dick on it, you'd probably be wasted by the time you got to the bottom of the hill. So I ended up going to hang out with the Jugganati site, and I guess at that point in time, I had also just recently missed fucking hot chicken and clout biscuits, as well as the fucking ribs that were going on over there. Nevertheless, though, I still went over there and I fucking chilled, and I got a little piece of hot chicken. Fucking ended up continuing to fucking chill, and just getting a vibe of fucking having all of these people here and just having conversations and stuff like that. I'm not sure if this was day two or if it was day one, but I had my kendo stick with me and I was fucking bringing it out. And Zay at some point ended up like I actually showed Zay the kendo stick. I was showing people the motherfucker like it's real, like it's really real. Like this is actual bamboo and shit like that. Like telling people how it fucking works and what it's supposed to do when you whack somebody with it. And Zay actually makes the mistake of saying, "I actually wonder what it feels like to be hit with that motherfucker." And I was like, "Okay." So he let me hit him in the back with it, and it looked like I fucking made him my slave because of the fucking welt that I put on his back. That welt was there for at least 24 hours. And I didn't even hit him all that hard. Not really. Uh, it was just basically a fucking just tap, and he winced, and so like there was a fucking red mark on his already olive painted skin, and it was like, god damn, dude, this thing's got some umph to it. That's dope. Now I can't remember if that was day one or day two, but I think on day two, fucking there was yeah, Brooklyn Menace was actually starting to record shit. He was recording a bunch of shit that he wanted to fucking. He was fiddling with his GoPro, and on the GoPro it actually had like a slow down thing, so he could record something and then he could choose when it would slow down, and then so like what he wanted me to do was he wanted me to fucking take the kendo stick and hit fucking Captain Flannel in the back with it because he was actually going to slow it down so that way you could see the fucking hit and then fucking Captain Flannel's reaction. Now, I will say this. I did actually hit Captain Flannel a little bit harder than I hit Zay for two reasons. One, because fucking Captain Flannel's white. so it's not a hate crime. Two, he had more padding. Like, I hit Zay shirtless. I hit Captain Flannel. He had a t-shirt and a flannel shirt on over it. So I knew that there was some extra padding and he'd be able to take it. Not to mention, three, I might as well add this. He seems like a pretty tough fucking country boy. So I knew that he'd be able to take the hit, but I still didn't hit him really hard. Like, I didn't give him 100. Um, if I did, I don't know if he would have been able to take it. If he thinks that he can, then I guess maybe next time I'll do it. Like, if he really wants me to. But I don't know how bad it hurt even giving him 10% as opposed to giving 5% to Zay. And I want, like, I'm actually looking forward to seeing that fucking shit, that footage that he did. Now, at the same time, Jazzer was hanging out with us at that point because apparently Jazzer ended up having some problems. Jazzer, I guess, ended up saying the wrong thing to Miss Hollywood, and everybody that was surrounding Miss Hollywood was threatening to kick his ass. And so, like, fucking, like, he was camping not too far away from Miss Hollywood because he was kind of like part of that crew right over there. So, oh, all right. I'll incorporate this. So, like, so, like, he wasn't able to fucking hang out with, over at his spot, you know. Um, so, like, so he found me, and I was like, dude, just fucking chill with us, you know. Just fucking chill at the Jugganati site, all of us, so you're definitely gonna have a good time. And even some of the people that are in the Jugganati that you don't know, you're still gonna fucking be able to chill with and have a good time. So during the time that I was doing this stuff with Captain Flannel, he's recording this shit with his phone at the same time. So you got to see like a behind the scenes of direction with Brooklyn Menace and explaining the scene for myself and Captain Flannel. Now, what's funny too is like, okay, so you get to see me hit Captain Flannel like regular speed with the fucking kendo stick. Now you look at this shit and you can actually see that I didn't hit him very hard. And then Captain Flannel ends up turning around as I'm doing a Sandman pose with the kendo stick over my head, and Captain Flannel had ample opportunity to actually kick me in the nuts. So he pantomimed doing that, and I was like, "You motherfucker!" And I pantomimed fucking like I was gonna hit him for real with that shit. So I thought that was I thought that was rather interesting. Um, So before I get ahead of myself, I'm gonna go ahead and post something in the fucking chat board here. I ended up getting a DM once again from the Bender Boys, asking to donate to this PayPal pool. This PayPal pool is called Max's Hell Ride to Detroit. So Max is planning on actually fucking bringing himself over to Detroit. There's some shit that he's going to be doing with Madness of Bedlam. So I've donated because, for one, like I actually look forward to seeing what is going to be going on with Madness of Bedlam. Madness is the homie, as well as Maximum Overload. And so I want to see him fucking get over here and do some shit. So that's why I fucking donated. Yeah, that link, that PayPal.com pool, is to get Maximum Overload. A little bit of help for like basically it's a little bit of help for him so that way he can start pushing on to the next line of work that he's got on his plate. I'm not, I'm not 100% of the details. I know that this is supposed to be, down for Maximum, and on top of that, also, fucking, if I need to do it again, another thing that you can do to help out Maximum is buying a physical copy of his album Maximum. So I'll post that here as well. So there is that. If my mods could actually copy those links and also put them in there, put them in here periodically so that way I can fucking continue talking about this stuff. So yeah, these are so both of these are basically helping out with Maximum Overload and shit like that. So with that, so continuing on with this, like I ended up deciding to fucking just chill out and fucking hang with the Jugganati until nightfall, We basically chilled at the Jugganati campsite, and then we started getting carted by Maximum, not by Maximum, but by Wolf. Wolf started fucking carting people up fuck that hill to get us to a confined Jugganati space that we had up at main stage. So all of us were crewed up in this one general location, and I can't remember who was up at stage prior to Ghost Main, but Ghost Main was actually up in that bitch. And that's when we started to actually have a lot of fun doing shit concerning Ghost Main. I had never listened to Ghost Main, and I actually did not really have a whole lot of knowledge about what type of stuff that Ghost Main does, but I definitely can tell you this 100% for a fact. I walked out the gathering a fan of Ghost Main to a point where I actually yeah, I actually fucking came across the set list for Ghost Main's performance at the gathering of the Juggalos. So I fucking copied it, and I ended up making the entire set list a playlist on Spotify. So with that being said, I will give me a quick second. Okay, I am posting a link to the Spotify playlist in the chat right now. So click on that link if you want to if you want the entire fucking set list of Ghost Main. And yeah, make sure that you fucking also on top of that buy a physical copy of Maximum Overload's album. That album's a fucking banger. And donate to our boy to help for future projects on top of that. So you basically got two fucking bangers right there to hook up to hook up this shit and help support and further the Jugganati along with everything else that's going on. So Ghost Main, for a vast majority of us, actually set the fucking scene for the rest of the gathering at this point. And after that night, like I honestly like I don't think I honestly don't think I can even recall a vast majority of shit that was going on in day 3 because I was still hype as fuck about day 2. Or maybe I'm mixing up days. Maybe I couldn't remember what was going on with day 2. Like I said before, I don't have my itinerary on top, in front of me right now, so I don't remember who was on the set list. What am I correct, or is that day 3 that it was Ghost Main on the fucking set? Like, am I tripping, or is that or was that or am I in the right time frame? Like, I can't remember. I should probably fucking just say to hell with it. I'll just go on Chrome and I'll fucking take a look at the itinerary from there. Ghost Main was day 3. Okay, thank you. Let me look up the Gathering website. I'll be able to clarify that shit. My bad. I'll get to Ghost Main, at some other point in time. So let's see. There's the map. That's not what I want. I need the timeline. Okay, so day 2. Okay, so day 2, I did not go to the main stage whatsoever. I really didn't have much going on with day 2. I really didn't care. I really could care less. I really could have cared less about Gorilla Pimp. Never really got into Token, so I don't know much about that. Butcher Babies, I didn't give a fuck. The Suicide Boys, like I've listened to them, and I really didn't have a fucking mindset. One of these things, like a lot of all of the fucking guys that were on the set list, I did not really fucking give a shit about. And I honestly thought that Supervillains was not going to be as fresh as it made out to be. So I definitely fucked up on that one. I should have actually gone to go see Supervillains, but instead I ended up fucking hanging out, and I also fucking, like I just stayed at the fucking Jugganati site and, just talking to Wolf and Charcoal and fucking chilling with all of that shit. It wasn't until day 3 though that I actually did go into, like when we all fucking got massively fucking crewed up. Like we ended up getting massively fucking crewed up for Ghost Main as well as Bone Thugs and Harmony and Tech 9. So so Ghost Main, I walked out that motherfucker. Um, I walked on that motherfucker a fan of Ghost Main. Bone Thugs and Harmony, I've seen them a couple of times already. Like I've seen them in Wicked Wonka. I saw them on their own shit, and I also saw them, this year at the Gathering of the Juggalos. So it was basically all classic shit that fucking Bone Thugs was doing, and I loved every fucking second of it. Like the way that they fucking flow. I do have a hard time trying to fucking remember how certain things go and words and stuff like that, but I always remember how the fucking harmony of the fucking beat of the fucking raps go. And it wasn't until I think once they ended up fucking doing Notorious Thugs when they were honoring fucking Notorious B.I.G. Everybody in our fucking crew just, it's Bonin' Biggie Biggie, it's Bonin' Biggie Biggie, it's Bonin' Biggie Biggie, it's Bonin' Biggie Biggie, Notorious Thugs, armed and dangerous, ain't nobody can play with this. So like everybody was fucking just going fucking bonkers, fucking rapping every single lyric that we could. Everybody was just like, oh man, unfathomable the amount of energy that was in this fucking bitch. From Ghost Main to Bone Thugs and then finally Tech 9 and everybody stemming up. How did you do if I ever beat? Take away by the demons I never beat. And they're like, holy fucking shit. The only downside to Tech 9 though was that there was no areolas. They forgot to fucking practice it. So we started fucking doing shit for it. Fuck you, desktop. No fucks are given. So they forgot to fucking do that shit. And as far as I'm concerned, like I'm like, okay, you know what? That it, I'm not going to fucking worry about that shit. Like I'm not gonna sweat the small shit. Let's see. There was something else that was going on that I'm trying to think of. So let's see, where the fuck? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I missed out on talking about ICP's Drums and Drums acoustic performance. So whatever. Now one thing that I will say is like during one of the fucking show, like during one of the sets, I can't remember if it was Bone Thugs or Tech 9, but I look at my peripheral vision and in the distance I ended up seeing Misery and Fuego. So I fucking walked up and I was like, Fuego Flames. And he's like, oh shit, KreyzMcKormik, what the fuck is up, dog? And you know this motherfucker. I was like, of course I know this motherfucker. It's fucking Misery. Misery's in the house too. That's fucking, like fucking giving Misery some love and giving Fuego some love. And Fuego was like, yo, man, is CPN here? I was like, hell yeah, he is, dog. Fucking, I'll fucking chill with him. Like he's chilling out right here. Misery and Fuego at the time were trying to figure out where the entrance was to the backstage. And I was like, I think it's over there past the information booth. That's where you got to go. You got to go if you got to go behind main stage. So they went there. They're like, just meet us back here in a couple minutes. We'll be back in a few minutes. We just got to go do something in the back, and then we'll be right back. And then show us where CPN is. So I did that. Like I fucking walked back up to CPN and I said, dude, I just bumped into Misery and Fuego. They want to fucking chill with you for a minute. They had to go to the back, but they said that they'll be back in a minute. So then I turn around and I go back and I grab Misery and I grab Fuego and I march them over to fucking CPN and we kicked it for a little bit. And so after that was like, was basically fucking Tech 9. So like we went back to we went back to one of the fucking shows, and yeah, we went after Tech 9. We ended up going back to one of the fucking spots to basically wait out for Supermania. So yeah, I went back down to the Jugganati spot so I could grab my chair and then fucking come back and set shit up for Supermania. Big fucking mistake. Every single fucking match was a piece of fucking shit, including the main event double retirement match between Violent J and the Rude Boy in a Riddle Box Rules fucking match, which just the concept of the rules were actually okay, but the match just stunk to fucking high heaven. It was the shits, and the only thing that actually made that match good was the fact that it was over. That was the only thing that I actually liked about Supermania, was the fact that it finished. Every single match was a piece of fucking shit. Two matches in that fucking card that I was actually looking forward to was Team JCW versus Team ECW, which I kind of gathered that was the shit that was gonna fucking happen. But Sandman was so fucking high on ecstasy and fucking acid at the same time, I'm assuming, from all of his ventures walking around on the gathering. Like he was in a fucking adventure of his own. And instead of actually participating in the match, like he was standing at ringside fucking taking selfies with a bunch of fucking juggalos while everybody else was getting their ass beat by by the other team. That entire fucking wrestling show was trash. Even the fucking end of the match, like, for real, like, how in the fuck do you treat Team JCW versus Team ECW? How the fuck do you have the balls and the gall to actually give that a fucking piss break women's 10 woman tag match time limit? Like, how the fuck do you do that? What was it, because fucking franchise was so out of fucking shape, like, or was it because fucking Sandman was bloated as well and fucking was high on so many fucking drugs he probably didn't even remember whether or not he was on planet Earth or planet or is it the fact that Weed Man just wanted to fucking come in, grab his check, and fucking leave? Sabu didn't give a fuck. Like, Sabu, like, half-assed it. Like, like, Sabu was like the torn guy between ECW and JCW because he lives, breathes, and fucking dies ECW, but he's also a JCW main stable. So, like, he fucked up an Arabian facebuster and hit franchise instead of Madman Pondo. And when fucking Weed Man went for the pin on franchise, Sabu just stood there, just sitting there, didn't give a fuck. And on top of that, the live performance by Motown Rage, fuck you, fuck Motown Rage. And then on top of that, like, the Bender Boys apparently had, like, I guess what they thought was an ingenious idea was to throw fucking Cray paper when Violent J entered the ring. So we had boys on all 3 out of 4 corners of the fucking ring, and so, like, fucking, as soon as Violent J came into the ring, we started throwing the fucking Cray paper over the fucking ring and shit. And apparently we didn't know that everybody else with the shit was waiting until the end of the fucking match to throw Cray paper endlessly at fucking both Violent J and Rude Boy, considering it was a fucking double retirement match. So it should have just, we should have waited. I think, we kind of cooned on that. But nevertheless, thank God that was over. I could even tell that fucking, like, me, McInhose, fucking Violent George, Josh, like, Scottish Misfit kept fucking falling asleep. And, like, obviously he was that fucking bored. You know, he was that fucking bored of the entire goddamn set. And on top of that, according to this, the card was supposed to start at 1:30, and I think and then it was supposed to go on from 1:30 to 3:30. It was supposed to be a 2-hour show. And correct me if I'm wrong, but did this match, did this show not fucking end until like 4:30 in the fucking morning? And so like I fucking wrestling also started what 3 hours late. Yeah, like practically. It was like an hour and a half late. Like they stopped. Like the fucking show finally ended. It finally ended around like 4:30 in the fucking morning. So like everything about that was just fucked up. Um, and let me explain the Riddle Box rules. Apparently, Violent J and the Rude Boy had special guest enforcers with each other that like had the ability to fucking go and fucking tag DJ Clay at the rings, like on the ramp, and and so when you did that, you had they would have a random JCW wrestler fucking come out and do whatever for a limited time, and then they would have to be escorted back to the ring. So like right at the very beginning of the fucking match, like Jay does the most offensive thing that he does in the entire match, and that is the fucking collar and elbow tie-up. That's it. That's the only fucking offense that Violent J actually had. The rest of it was a fucking squash. Rudy was beating the fuck out of him the entire fucking match. So Shaggy fucking goes up to DJ Clay, tags him in, so that way both Shaggy and fucking so that way both Jay and Rude Boy can fucking catch the wind, and then for some fucking reason, uh, yeah, for some fucking reason, Joel Gertner was in the middle of the ring, and so Shaggy tags DJ Clay, out comes Tracy Smothers, and then Smothers beats the fuck out of Joel Gertner, and then he leaves. And then Joel Gertner fucking falls out the side of the ring, and in comes back in Jay and fucking, Jay and fucking, Rudy. And then Rudy continues to beat the shit out of Jay. So Shaggy goes back up to the fucking ring and goes back up to the ramp, tags DJ Clay again, and fucking somebody else comes out. I can't remember who it was, but they continue to beat the fuck out of Joel Gertner and then leaves. And at this point, I'm just like, God damn it, Joel, just motherfucking die. Like, I legitimately screamed that. I'm just like, just die already, Gertner, for fuck's sake. Like, end this suffering on everybody, please. So what did Motown Rage do? Fail. Just like they always do. Fuck Motown Rage, they suck. Like, they performed and it was boring. Like, and I could tell it was boring because Josh is sitting to my right, and the entire time, he's fucking sleeping. Josh fucking slept the entire time Motown Rage was performing. And there's a big fucking wrestling ring in the way, so it's not like we can fucking see it. Like, we can only hear this shit, and it was horrible. So, continuing on with the Violent J fucking match, Jay and fucking Rudy continue to get, beat the fuck out of each other, and it's like, or actually I should say Rudy continues to beat the fuck out of Violent J, and so Shaggy jumps up on the fucking ramp, lights a blunt, hands it to fucking Violent J, and then you hear Keegan over the shit, over the fucking commentating, and he's like, "Oh shit, Shaggy just gave Violent J the magic blunt," and he starts fucking puffing the blunt, and Carlito comes into the ring, and he fucking hands Carlito the blunt. Carlito fucking hits it and starts going after Rude Boy. Like, he's got his fists up, and he's ready to fucking fight. And then Joel Gertner, in the meanwhile, fucking walks up to the ramp, slaps DJ Clay's hand, and out comes Too Tough Tony. And Too Tough Tony comes out. He's supposed to be helping Rudy, but he's standing next to Violent J, and he fucking gets his liquor, fucking puts it up on his hand, lights up the shit. He's about to meteorite Rudy, and he just turns around and Pearl Harbor's Violent J, and then Rudy fucking pins Violent J. End of the fucking match. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck was this? What the fuck was this match? What the fuck was any of this shit? Fuck this shit. Like, how in the fuck? How in the fuck can you actually do this to people who are actually fans of professional wrestling? Who in their right mind was this fucking stoned to write this, to book this? Like, who fucking booked this? For God's sakes. I don't care if they, how old they are. They still had some, like, even the fucking JCW heavyweight title match was fucking boring. Like, Teddy Hart ended up winning. There, spoiler alert. Teddy Hart is now the fucking JCW World Heavyweight Champion, and I don't give a fuck either way. You know, like, either which way, that shit sucked. It was a waste of my fucking time, and I should have just gone and hung out with the Bender Boys. Like, we all should have just fucking walked up in the middle of this shit and fucking left to go heckle people. So after that, I end up fucking going back to the Jugganati camp so I can drop off my chair, and on top of that, I figured, okay, Guido and Jamie might be there, and they never fucking showed up. So I was getting kind of pissed. I was getting a little heated because, like, I was kind of hoping that they were going to be there so that way we could all fucking go and fucking, you know, like, go get some sleep and shit like that. You know, I was on the fucking, I was on the hill the entire fucking time, which was the only place that they actually had service, was over by main stage. Like, you couldn't call people, but you could actually fucking text and shit like that. So that was about as far as you could go. They could have at least texted me and fucking let me know where they were, where to meet up, but they never fucking did. And then, and so, like, I was over there, they weren't. So I was like, okay, fuck. All right, I'm pissed already. I'm pissed off enough. JCW was a bust. I was already pissed off at everything that would happen at fucking JCW. So, I was pissed off enough with that. Now I'm even more pissed because, obviously I'm not thinking straight. And so, like, I fucking walk up, fuck that hill. Like, I marched right up that motherfucker with ease because of how fucking pissed off I was. And I was like, man, if they are not at the fucking Bender Boy camp, I am going to be livid. And so I show up at the fucking Bender Boys camp. They weren't there. And I was like, has anybody fucking seen Jamie, Nicole, and Guido? Like, I would have thought that we would have fucking hooked up so that way we could go back to the hotel to go get some sleep. And I was fucking pissed off as fuck. Dude, Violent George and fucking everybody else that was at that site could tell you about how fucking pissed off I was. Like, I'm pretty sure that you could legitimately see steam fucking shooting out of my ears because of how fucking pissed I was. But honestly, to be perfectly honest, like, I was kind of hyping myself up already as it was. Like, I mean, like, we never really had any fucking set plan. I kind of abandoned them already as it was, to go ahead and do my own fucking thing, and they went to go off and do their own thing. And it turns out, according to what they did, was that they ended up fucking bumping into somebody named Spooky, who Guido apparently knows. She fucking went and hung out over at like the Spooky chicks from Lansing, and that's how Guido fucking knows her. Is like, I guess she goes to shows in mid Michigan and sometimes in Detroit and shit like that. And I guess he's banged her a couple of times, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see, we're dancing, and if I didn't know him better, I thought he was tweaking. He was so mad. Yeah, like, you could probably see if you got really close and looked me in the eye, you'd probably see them like vibrating. I was so fucking pissed off. Like, I think it was Captain Flannel that fucking gave me a bottle of water to try to calm myself down. I just took a chug out of that motherfucker and I threw it behind me, and it hit KJ Riddle's fucking side window. And I'm glad that that didn't fucking break it. But then again, you know, it's cheap plastic and half a good side, half an open bottle, you know, half open bottle of fucking water. So it wasn't really gonna do anything. But I was livid. And I was like, you know what? Fuck Jamie. Fuck Guido. They can sit here. Somebody take me to my fucking car, or I'm, somebody take this cart and drive me to my car, or I'm fucking walking. The CPN drove me to the cart and the shit. And fucking, I was basically just saying, I was saying all sorts of fucking shit. Basically about, like fucking Guido basically following fucking Jamie Nicole like a puppy dog and shit like that. Like, I actually said some shit like that, and I was like, and you think I'm bad with chicks? Look at this shit. And fucking CPN fucking just kind of couldn't help but giggle. I'm pretty sure that he found everything that I was doing rather funny. Which, looking back at it is kind of funny that I said this shit. So I said fuck it, and I got into my car, I drove back to the hotel, and I fucking I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the hotel. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm gonna wake up around like 11 o'clock, shower, and fucking get back to the gathering. Well, this didn't happen as well as I had hoped, because I ended up getting a call at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's from the fucking hotel. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the story, I ended up fucking getting to the hotel at like 3 o'clock in the morning the day before the day of my fucking shit. Well, apparently what ended up happening is that they counted that as the day before my fucking reservation was cleared. They still had me go for they still had me on the bill for 4 days, but they put it on a day prior to the shit. So I get a call at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm only on 2 hours of sleep, like 2 or 3 hours of sleep by the time they call me. And they're asking me if I'm getting ready to fucking head out because, uh, you know, uh, because like like I guess I'm supposed to fucking, uh, yeah, I'm supposed to be out by like 11 o'clock that day. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I had this for 4 days. This is day three, like, or whatever. And so they said, well, we have you booked for blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. I grab my phone, I start going through my emails to fucking show my itinerary, and I walk right up to the fucking booth, and I said, yeah, you were just telling me like today I'm supposed to be out of the fucking hotel by 11 o'clock today. My itinerary says that I'm here until Sunday. So what's up? And they were like, oh, we see the problem. You ended up fucking they ended up setting you up a day early, and still only put you in for 4 days. So they gave me an extra day free for the mistake. Thank God. Because maybe at least that way I can get some decent sleep or some fucking shit. So here it is Saturday. So here it is Saturday, the last day of the gathering, and I fucking, like, I'm already pissed off at fucking Guido and Jamie for, like, I mean, at first I kind of looked at it as abandoning, but like, in all honesty, like, we just didn't have any well communication, so it's whatever. Now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, whatever, fuck it. But so there was that, and then the only solace that I really had was the fact that I ended up squaring out this shit with with the hotel. So I ended up getting an extra day for free. So cool. Um, so after I get that shit taken care of, I shower and I get ready again. Um, and I'm outside having a cigarette, trying to fucking chill, and I see some other juggalos that are also hotel gathering and shit, and we just started fucking talking about stuff, and I ended up telling them about all the bullshit that was going on with me, so it was whatever. So I leave to go to the gathering, and I get to the gathering, and this time I'm like, you know what, fuck walking. I waited for a trolley, and I ended up hitching a ride on one of the trolleys to take me towards the Jugganati site. And by this time, the ICP seminar was getting ready, was going on. And who am I sitting next to is fucking Scotty Two Balls, and Scotty Two Balls and I were fucking chilling. That trolley almost took our feet out. They got really close to one of the edges and shit, and me and him had our feet dangling out. So like so that ended up being a problem. And then on top of that, there was one person that ended up having heat stroke on the shit. So uh, the entire fucking trolley stops in the dead heat of the sun, while the driver and some of the people that were on the back of the truck are tending to this girl until EMS shows up. And and then like half the fucking trolley is baking under the sun. And some guy actually piped up and said, "Hey, are you gonna fucking, is this girl gonna be taken care of? Is she gonna be good? Because like while you're tending on one person getting heat stroke right now, like 5 people on your, maybe even 10 or 15, are probably about ready to get heat stroke themselves. Get us the fuck into the shade, or let's roll or something." When EMS shows up, they fucking take care of the chick, and we go on our merry little way. And then I started listening, and I'm like listening, like I can hear music, and I see the fucking seminar tent, and I'm like, that music's coming from the seminar tent, dude. We should get the fuck off here. He's like, yeah, actually, that's where I'm planning on going, but doesn't the trolley have to go all the way around? I said, no, there's a bridge right here. Let's cross it. So we fucking cross the bridge that goes over the creek, and we just beeline it right for that. Like after that, I fucking lost Scotty Two Balls, but I found Scrappy, and it turns out that fucking what ended up happening is fucking, instead of it being an actual seminar, it was Inner City Posse doing a performance. I was like, okay, well that's cool. So they ended up fucking doing that shit. So I sat there and I watched that shit, and then I lost Scrappy, and I started walking back to the Jugganati camp, and I came across fucking Leroy Jenkins from Seventh Dimension Kratom. And he was trying to offer me fucking Kratom. He was trying to offer me fucking Kratom, but I'm like, I have no need for Kratom because, I don't do drugs. Like, caffeine's the only thing that I'm on, that and cigarettes. And I don't think Kratom is going to be meant for something like that. Like, Kratom, I can understand if, like if you're a fucking heroin addict or a fucking cokehead and you can't fucking stop, but like for stuff like fucking pop and cigarettes and candy and shit like that, I don't think Kratom's really the thing for you. But I ended up asking him about the possibility of fucking sponsoring Seventh Dimension, because I do believe that Kratom does work for people, with these kind of problems. So, like, I talked to him about that, and I don't know, maybe in the future you might see me sponsored by fucking Seventh Dimension. I haven't talked to Leroy about that in a minute, but it's whatever. So, I ended up continuing to fucking hang out um, with like I ended up continuing to fucking hang out at the fucking shit with the Jugganati camp, hanging out with them and talking with them and kicking it and all of that shit. But I ended up missing out on so much shit because of that. Like, I missed out on Misery. I missed out on the world's most dangerous stunt show, although I think I saw some shit um, concerning, because like I saw some footage of some guys getting fucking Roman candles shot on their asses standing behind fucking porta potties, and I actually think I remember seeing smoke billowing out from the fucking porta potties as I was walking past them. So apparently that's what was going on at that time. Um, so I missed out on Misery. I missed out on Liquid Assassin. I mean, there was a lot I missed out on. I'm not gonna lie, and even on main stage, Dropout Kings, Big Hoodoo, Mushroom Head, ABK, Jedi Mind Tricks. I watched like by the time the Ghetto Boys were on fucking stage, that's when I fucking started to actually, that's when everybody was over there. So, like, we ended up watching Ghetto Boys, and we were actually wondering if they were actually going to do Ghetto Boys even without Bushwick Bill because of his recent passing. They still fucking did it up. So, props go out to Scarface and Willie D for doing a do, despite having missed their fucking third member. And they did a lot of fucking classic shit too. So unfortunately, unfortunately, I guess I could say for CPN, they did not do Coon, which would have been fucking dope as fuck. But then ICP fucking comes in. And they start after their intro, they start doing dog beats. And then they follow that up with the Juggalo. And then they follow that song up. They follow up the Juggalo with the Stalker. Fucking I'm gonna have to reopen this. They fucking because like as of right now, it's kind of a brain fart. Okay. Murder Go Round. The Smog. Santa's a Fat Bitch. Toy Box. Cotton Candy. Hocus Pocus. Do you see the theme here? Like, do you see what the theme is? One song for every fucking album that they did from Dog Beats until now, excluding uh excluding the fucking shit that they'd had for for the Forgotten Freshness albums. And then when they got up to Fearless Fred Fury, they did 3 songs from Fearless Fred Fury. Red Fred, Freedom, and West Werner Avenue. Following that was Be Safe from Flip the Rat for part of the Fago Armageddon, as well as the Juggalo Chant. And at some point during the Juggalo Chant, somebody decided that it would have been a good idea to do a fucking burning bench. Not Burning Man, burning bench. So somebody ended up grabbing a bench and started that some bitch on fire. And then a bunch of people started throwing fucking boxes of fireworks into that bitch, and all sorts of fucking shit was thrown in there. Fucking couch was thrown in there. Another bench. There was a couch and 2 benches that ended up getting caught in that fucking bitch, along with a bunch of fucking fireworks. It was dope as fuck. And then somebody tried to, this is the story that I heard. When it concerns the fucking bonfire, somebody ended up trying to grab a fucking gardening hose to try to get the, somebody tried to grab a gardening hose to fucking try to get the water to go through, so to put the fire out, and somebody cut that fucking shit with a ninja blade. Somebody cut the fucking hose at the end, at the opposite end of the fucking hose, and so that happened. And then I saw somebody else trying to fucking put the fire out with a fire extinguisher, and I would like to assume that somebody grabbed that bitch and just threw the fucking whole thing into the fire. Like, everybody was throwing canopies, and I don't know why, but some dumbass decided to try to throw a fucking guardrail into the fire, like as if that was going to melt the fucking thing. Dude, that's fucking metal. It's not going to fucking catch on fire. Like, whoever fucking did that is a fucking idiot. But nevertheless, though, CPN said that by the time I think either the Stalker or Murder Go Round came into play, that's when he started to notice the theme. I noticed it somewhere between the Juggalo and the Stalker, and they threw a fucking propane tank in there too. Oh my god. Oh my god, there was so much shit that they were fucking throwing. And then in the middle of all of it, Wolf fucking comes up, and he ends up saying, "Yo, we need to get going because somebody I heard fucking tipped over a fucking porta potty or 2, and one of them is caught on fire. There was this fire over here, and then apparently there was another fire going on over by our campsite, and it was nearby our campsite, which wasn't true. That did not actually fucking happen." I didn't see that shit at all. So I don't know what the fuck Wolf was talking about at that point. But he ends up taking me and a couple people back to the Jugganati campsite. We're fucking chilling and fucking talking and having a good time with all of that. And then Wolf fucking comes back in the golf cart with Cold and fucking Sister Hatchet. And he looks pissed. And we're wondering what, so like me, Josh, I think Cole, Charcoal, and McInhouse fucking came up. And we were all like, yo, what's up? And all Wolf ends up saying is, I'm only going to say this once, but CPN hits like a motherfucking bitch. What? Wait, what are you talking about? Like, he fucking swung on you or some shit? He goes, yeah. Yeah, fucking, yeah, Raya fucking swung on me. I was like, over what? Like, over fucking what? What happened? Now, keeping in mind, this is my perspective of what I had saw with this whole thing. I really didn't want to include it, but apparently everybody else wants to, so I might as well fucking throw in my fucking 2 cents and chime in. So, this is my perspective of it. So what ends up happening? He fucking shows up and he says, I'm only gonna tell you this once, CPN fucking hits like a bitch. I was like, wait, what? He swung on you? Yeah. Raya fucking swung on me. Over what? And fucking basically he ended up he said, this is how he said it. He met up with CPN, and CPN was with Roxy at that point, and he was asking if he could have the fucking cart, and and fucking Wolf ended up saying, yeah, but it needs to be back here. It needs to be back at the Jugganati site by 3 a.m. And fucking CPN apparently said, I don't play by your, it's like, I don't play by your fucking rules, and papped him. And that's apparently when fucking he ran off on the golf cart and fucking left and fucking came back over to the Jugganati site to say CPN hits like a bitch. In the meanwhile, we have Sister Hatchet, and she was like, I'm sure that she was upset about the shit that was going on, and basically like something or another she said. I can't remember exactly what, but I remember the line, that's some straight up Juff shit, come out of her mouth. Now, I'm confused at this point because I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Juff shit? Dude, CPN is like, I'm thinking to myself, dude, Raya is the most unjuff motherfucker I know. Like, that, like, the shit he does ain't on Juff shit. And I have high doubts that fucking he would just do that shit. They were claiming that it was because he was either on something or coming off of something or one thing or another. But at some point, he ends up, like, Wolf ends up taking the fuck back off. Now, the entire time that Wolf is fucking talking about that shit, I'm looking in the background and I ended up seeing, because, like, one thing that I left out this entire fucking time is that Mr. Ryan Johnson, Mr. Diamond, Ram Ranch Ryan, whatever the fuck you want to call him, if you know who he is, you know who he is. He was fucking camped right behind us the entire fucking gathering. His car was parked in the back. And with him, alongside him, was Jump Shot, as well as Redheaded Stepchild. Now, during Hot Chicken and Clout Biscuits, apparently Wolf fucking clocked Ryan. Siznak fucking clocked him too. And I also saw Kunsky, not CPN, Kunsky fucking got a couple paps in there too. Like, he got like maybe 6 paps, like pap, 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 pap. And he fucking got a few paps in too. So, on top of that, like, Redheaded Stepchild, upon meeting me, the first thing that he fucking did was he gave me a dap and said, what up, it's Redheaded Stepchild. I said, so what's up with Nick Gurr not giving any more super chats, bro? He's like, that ain't me. Like, somebody ended up cloning the Nick Gurr account. I was like, well, sure is a damn shame. Like, dude, we need you to come back, dog. Like, we miss you, dude. I fucking miss you. Like, despite whatever fucking bullshit, like, I've never had a problem with Redheaded Stepchild. None whatsoever. I don't know about the shit that fucking went on with Jump Shot, but all I know is that he ended up fucking cooning because of the fact that if you notice when you listen to Max's album, a lot of those tracks, that Max fucking did, like specifically the collabos, have only 2 verses on there. Max's and whoever that he had fucking collabing on the song. There was room for a 3rd verse, and that's where Jump Shot was supposed to fucking be in, but apparently Jump Shot ended up getting talked into fucking doing things on his own. And in all honesty, it's like, okay, where the fuck is Jump Shot now? Like sitting fucking side, like sitting side seat with Ryan in his piece of shit car that a lot of people fucking peed on. The entire fucking gathering, people were peeing on Ryan's car because fuck him for talking all that shit and trying to fucking put stuff in people's heads, negative shit about the Jugganati. So fuck him for that. And that's why he got his car pissed on by everybody. Bet you were wondering what that smell was on the way back home, huh, boy? Nevertheless, I never had any problem with Jump Shot because I really didn't know anything about that shit. The main problem that I had was Ryan. And it wasn't even about the fact that he was constantly crying in the Discord about his fucking game mat or anything like that. My problem with Ryan was the fact that I found out that he was talking so much shit. And even when he was given the proof that we knew for a fact that he was talking shit to people, we told him, dude, like, it was weird too, because like our entire fucking conversation seriously sounded like a fucking Discord argument or a fucking live stream where we were all fucking hanging out and shit like that. It seriously fucking sounded exactly the same thing, except it was like in real life. Like, it was almost as if like we were fucking IRL staging the fucking Discord arguments or the Facebook arguments or the fucking live chat arguments or the live stream hangout arguments. Like, it looked exactly like that, and it was fucking funny. But like, I ended up telling him, look, dude, I don't have, like, legitimately, and if Ryan's seeing this shit, I'm gonna tell you flat out, I never really had a problem, that much of a problem, with you constantly fucking crying, whining, and bitching about the fact that I have a fucking job and I have kids and I've got bills and shit that I have to attend to before I give somebody a fucking game mat. And I didn't really have that much of a problem with that, really didn't have that much of a problem with you because you were fucking being a bitch about how long it took me to fucking give you a fucking game mat. Everybody else did, and the only reason why I sent that shit was to shut you the fuck up. Now, the problem that I have with Ryan is the fact that he ended up taking Jump Shot away from an opportunity. He ended up fucking coinciding with fucking redheaded stepchild and got him out of the fucking Jugganati just based off of shit that he saw, not what everybody else fucking saw. And on top of that, I'm also fucking pissed off at the fact that you basically got Captain Zane to start talking shit about the Jugganati on us. That's my problem. And you can't say that it didn't happen because obviously, like CPN told you, we have seen screenshots of you talking about this shit. You can go ahead and say whatever you fucking want. You're lying, and we know that for a fucking fact. With one lonely piece of watermelon sliding down his windshield. Yeah. So, like, and even after fucking CPN told you that shit and you had nothing to fucking say, like, you tried to tell me that never fucking happened when I stood right next to Raya the entire time that he was explaining this shit to Ryan. And then he tries to turn around and tell me that it never fucking happened. Bull fucking shit, dude. Everybody in the Jugganati does not, like, dude, you cried wolf over this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's way too much shit that we already fucking know. There's a reason why we're called the fucking Jugganati. We have eyes and ears everywhere, and somebody that fucking says something negative about us, somehow, in some way, we're gonna end up fucking hearing about it. That's the key. That's something that you tended to forget. Now, we as a crew, of course, as a whole, we're individual people and we're all just trying to do fucking cool ass shit. Like that's the whole point that we're trying to fucking do. But like we have eyes and ears everywhere that are gonna be able to tell us whether or not somebody's fucking telling people, hey, like this, that, and the other, talking shit, blah blah blah, but fuck. So, with that being said, fuck it. I don't have any problem with redheaded stepchild and Red. I miss you and I wish you would fucking come back because I mean it's not like we need your it's not like we need your presence, but I mean as far as I'm concerned, I think the door's still open. The door's open for you. For Ryan and Jump Shot, I don't know. Probably Jump Shot has a better fucking chance than Ryan does. Like Ryan, I think is blackballed, flat the fuck out, blackballed. But Ryan, I think people would be willing to open the doors. But the thing about this is that as Wolf is fucking explaining this shit, I see redheaded stepchild in, like standing outside of Ryan's car, and he's listening in on all of this. And I was like, dude, fucking Wolf is being so goddamn loud about all of this shit that just transpired that I'm pretty sure that this was the one thing that Ryan could have fapped to on the way to driving back to fucking Ohio in his piss-soaked car, you know, and fucking obviously, and maybe Jump Shot being able to catch the nut. I don't know. Speculation and rumors at this point. So then fucking Wolf takes off. Wolf takes off, and it's weird because like normally he fucking drives in a circle and then drives forward on the way out. Instead, this time he backs up and swings to the swings the front to the right and runs over somebody's fucking tent. Surprisingly, there was nobody in that motherfucker, but he just ran over and ruined somebody's fucking tent because of he was basically pissed off about everything that was going on. So me and Josh and whoever else was there, I think Papa was there, and I was just like, dude, I get the feeling that this type of shit's probably gonna be the fucking end of the Jugganati. I hope it doesn't, and I really don't want to see that to fucking. I really don't want to see, but I don't really want to see that happen. But something tells me that once we get home, there's gonna be an absolute motherfucking shitstorm. And I was right, by the way, because everybody started picking sides. More people than not were fucking choosing CPN's side of the story over Wolf's, but because and the end result ends up being we all turned our backs on Big Bad Wolf, except for like 9 of us in the fucking Jugganati. But other than 9 people, everybody in the Jugganati turned their backs on the Big Bad Wolf. I have high doubts of that, and it's like, dude, if you just stop with the fuck shit, then maybe you wouldn't feel like that. I'm just saying, you know, like the same, like I've told you before, and I'll say it again. Like I'm a straight shooter with shit like this, and this is just how I see it. I call it like I see it. And as far as I'm concerned, if you just shut the fuck up, then maybe it would go away, and you'd have a little bit more support, and eventually you could possibly let bygones be bygones. Who the fuck knows? Both of these guys are basically in here, sitting there saying, like we can make amends, but like fucking it'll never be the same. But I digress. So basically, what ends up happening is everybody else starts falling asleep and shit like that. Fucking Sid Jones came up to me at some point and he ended up saying to me, "Yo, can I get a ride over to your hotel?" So I could take a shower. I was like, yeah, but if you come over to my fucking hotel to take a shower, how are you gonna fucking get back here? Because if I go to my hotel, I'm staying there and then I'm fucking dipping out. And he's like, yeah, you got a good point there. I was like, dude, um, you already basically did get a shower, like during ICP set, because throughout the entire time of ICP set, like me and Skeletor and fucking Scrappy were basically on the outside, just throwing anything and everything that we could find and throwing it into the fucking crowd, like no fucks were giving. Sid Jones and Cold were fucking chilling. And every once in a while, fucking Skeletor would pop up, and he'd like dump an entire fucking 2 liter of Faygo right over Sid Jones's head. And then he grabs a beer and he fucking dumps that over fucking Sid Jones's head. At one point, Sid Jones ends up being given a full unopened beer, and he hands it to me, and I was like, "How much is left in that can?" And he starts wiggling it, and he's like, "There's a couple sips left." I said, "Here, start on this one. I'm gonna take this," and I fucking launched that bitch into the fucking ocean of Juggalos. Um, I ended up telling Skeletor to fucking throw a beer bong into that bitch, and I was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it myself because the bottom of the beer bong is really hard, but the rest of it is flimsy plastic, obviously. Um, One of the other things that I saw too was like me and Sid like Sid ended up asking me while we were at the fucking Sid ended up asking me while we were in the middle of the ICP show if he could fucking come over to the hotel, and I was like, yeah, but I don't know how you're gonna get back. In the middle of that, fucking Skeletor grabs an entire cooler of ice water and fucking dumps it over over Sid Jones's head, and he's like, you need to forget about all that punk shit and remember what it's like to be a fucking juggalo. And then he scampered off. I just put my arm over him and I'm like, you know what, bro? I don't think you're gonna need that shower now. And I went to go hang out with Scrappy. So he was relatively clean already as it was because he was doused in fucking diet and that washes off the regular shit. So I was like, here, just take a fucking wet nap and wipe your face and your neck and you should be fine. Wait till you get back home and then you can fucking shower your shit off. And that's exactly what he fucking did. I'm pretty sure that he was writing his article while he was in the shower. So, nevertheless, back to what happens. Everybody fucking goes to sleep. All the lights are out. There's no fucking tiki torches or nothing fucking going on. I'm sitting there like a dumbass waiting for Wolf to fucking get back so I can ask him if he can take me to my fucking car so I can go back to the hotel. He never shows up. And I was like, all right, well, I guess what I'll do is maybe he might be on the way back. I know it takes a while for that fucking cart to get back there. And it's like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning at this point. So, or like 3 or 4 o'clock in the fucking morning at this point. So I'm like, all right, fine, fuck it. I just grabbed all of my stuff and I started walking back. And on the way back, I ended up coming across Church. Church in the middle of the like right before the ICP show, fucking disappeared. And it scared the shit. Like he scared the shit out of a couple of us because he was sitting in the fucking cart and he was crying. And Sister Hatchet thought that at the time, she found out that Church had done DMT, and so fucking uh like he ended up leaving. He said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go and get soaked with Faygo," and he just up and walked and left. So I see Church as I'm walking. As I'm walking the path, I see Church walking back to the site, and I was like, "Yo, Church, is that you?" He goes, "Yeah, what up?" I was like, "Bro, where have you been, man? You've had everybody fucking worried sick about you." And he's like, "Bro, if you couldn't find me, you weren't gathering hard enough." I was like, "I was gathering just fine. I wasn't out looking for you because, you're a grown ass man. I'm pretty sure that you can handle your own. But still, like the way that you walked off and shit, fucking, like you scared the shit out of some people. You got some of us worried. Specifically, Sister Hatchet was kind of worried about you. She thought that you were just fucking crying your eyes out because she thought that you were having a bad trip off of something or a combination of things." And he explained to me that it wasn't the case at all. But, he explained to me what it was that he was crying about, but I'll leave that story to him. But one thing I will fucking talk about is the fact that the reason why it took him forever to fucking get back over there because he ended up fucking meeting up with somebody during the ICP show and Church laid pipe. Church is fine. Church was fine. Especially after the ICP show, he ended up hooking up. He ended up kicking it with a chick, and he fucking laid pipe. So congratulations to Church. Kudos to you, brother. You laid some pipe. It's all in the good. So Church fucking goes back over to the campsite, and I'm walking. I walk the path I walk down the path to fucking go up to fuck that hill, past the merch booth, down the fucking around the curve to fucking go straight to the fucking vendor boys. And the first two people that fucking approach me on shit are Zero and fucking Siznak to tell me that CPN beat the shit out of Wolf. And they ended up explaining everything that had happened. And CPN, I saw, came back. One thing that I found was weird, though, about the whole situation was, as I was being explained all of this by the Bender boys and Siznak, CPN was kind of hiding, like he was standing. I don't know if he was hiding or if he was standing behind the fucking the canopy, and I could see him peering out and looking at me, and I saw him, and I was like trying to listen to what was going on and shit. I was confused about everything that was going on. Like but like it still was having a hard. I was having a hard time registering what the fuck was going on because of all of the stuff that was going on with Wolf and them. So fucking Bender Boys ended up explaining shit to me, and then CPN fucking came up to me, and I was like, "Yo, man, I'm getting ready to fucking head out." Like I was hoping that fucking Wolf was going to fucking be, coming back to the site on the cart, but apparently that's not going to happen. He's like, "Oh, okay, I see. So you're going to hear Wolf's side of the story and everybody else's side of the story, but you're not going to hear mine." I was like, well, I mean, you hit Wolf. Like, I don't know what else there is to fucking say. Um, and so, like, I was like, but all right, like, fine. Fucking tell me your side of the story. And we sat down. He explained his side of the story, which has never fucking changed, mind you. There's never been any fucking change about his side of the fucking story. I want to point that out there. There's never been a single thing about his side of the argument that has changed one iota at all. From the time that he explained to me at the campsite till now, and the multiple times that CPN has actually explained the shit, nothing has fucking changed. you know and apparently, like, according to what some people had said, apparently this was all over the fact that Wolf fucking wouldn't let CPN have the goddamn golf cart so he could mac with Roxy Red and fucking show her off and be all CPN-ish and stuff like that. Like, that's not even the case at fucking all. The fact is that fucking Wolf ended up being like being the way that he was at the fucking gathering, and there was a lot more to just this minimal explanation about everything that had been going, that had gone on throughout the fucking gathering. Like, there's been a lot more to the shit than I could even fucking put. Like, if I actually explained any more of the shit that fucking was the cause of fucking Wolf getting hands and a fucking broken chair leg, I would probably be on live stream for another hour and a half. Because there's a lot of other shit to fucking cover, as far as I'm concerned. But all of it ends up culminating to this one finite point where CPN, who it doesn't matter if he was on drugs or not at the time, fucking beat the shit out of fucking Wolf. And then Wolf fucking tried to drive off, and then he got fucking speared by a broken arm by a table. At this time, CPN was fucking wrapping up the story. Sister Hatchet comes up on the golf cart and says that Wolf was taken, she lets me know that Wolf was taken at EMS and he was on his way over to the fucking hospital to go get stitches in his eyebrow, and something might have happened to his fucking eye. But I've kept up with Wolf, by the way, and his eye's actually doing much better. Like, I think he's got vision in his eye again, which is a good thing. To have something like that come about, and have him, have that have that overcome, that's actually pretty dope in my personal fucking view. I mean, I still don't agree with the way that shit's fucking gone down and how it went down and everything. Like, I don't agree with that at all. But like shit just came to a fucking head. And a lot of people were trying to fucking say that, this was like, this is proof of what we were saying about the fucking Jugganati and all of this other stuff. They're bullies and, all of this other stuff. They can't even, they even bully their own. They beat the shit out of, they beat the shit out of each other. Like we're trying to, like the ops basically would probably try to say something along the lines of, we don't do that over here. We're this crew, that crew, the other crew, and we don't do that to our own. Not like the Jugganati. I was like, I hear this shit and I'm like, dude, this has absolutely nothing to fucking do with Jugganati shit. This was one dude beating the shit out of another dude because of shit that the other dude was saying and doing over a long course of time. That's it. It had nothing to do with Jugganati. It had to do with one dude getting the shit beat out of him by another dude over shit that he fucking said. That's it. Nothing more. No fucking triangle involvement whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, or anybody else in the Jugganati is concerned. Even the two people that were fucking, even the motherfucker who was throwing hands and the motherfucker that was catching hands will agree with me on this. This has absolutely nothing to do with Jugganati. Nevertheless, though, fucking, I ended up asking Sister Hatchet if she could drive me back to the fucking, back to my car. So, as far as I'm concerned, fucking, it is what it is. Jugganati is supporting Blues channel over Kreyz's. Well, I mean, I don't normally go this long into a fucking live stream, so whatever. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. I don't care. So, basically, I ended up, like, one thing that I ended up missing out on was, on my way back to the gathering, apparently, Jamie Nicole and Guido got a ride back to the hotel, and they stayed at the hotel the entire time, for the last day of the fucking gathering. Well, that was a waste. Like, they missed out on so much fucking shit. And I ended up driving back to the hotel, and then fucking, ended up fucking clocking out of the hotel and ended up going home. Drove Jamie Nicole and Guido back over to Guido's house. I went home and fuck work at that point in time. I had only had probably about 17 hours of sleep, which is not a normal thing for me unless I have a newborn. So, which honestly is not going to happen anymore. Nevertheless, the experience that I had at the fucking gathering of the Juggalos was fucking epic, despite even some of the most bullshit fallacies that had gone on, whether it be Wolf catching hands from CPN or the shit that was going on between me and fucking Guido and Jimmy Nicole, and even the aftermath of all of that stuff. Now, of course, after that, ever since then, I've been back on the fucking grind, working my ass off to try to fucking catch up for all of the shit that I fucking missed out on paying, because I ended up fucking missing a lot of fucking bills over that weekend, and I'm still paying for it, and it's been almost a full month since then. And that's where I've been for the last for the last month. Since I'm wrapping this up, that's the end of the gathering review. Honestly, I felt that the gathering was a very good experience, despite the fact that I didn't really see a whole lot of concerts or anything like that. To me, $200. Actually, no. To me, $500 to stay in a hotel, which I'll never do again. Especially if we're going to be continually crewing up at the gathering of the Juggalos, I'll just fucking camp with the Jugganati. Save me about $400. And $200 for the fucking ticket, all of the fucking gas, all of the merch, all of that money well worth spent, even if I didn't fucking even if I didn't fucking go to very many concerts. And the reason why that is because of me hanging out with my boys in the Jugganati and the Bender Boys, as well as the Bendernati. Even though some of them are dicks, I still had a pretty good fucking time with them nevertheless. And that's my review. My review on that flat out is the fact that if you didn't fucking gather, you fucked up. You know, even some of the fucking biggest experiences can be done just because you've got homies at your side. And that's the real reason why I fucking wanted to go to the gathering anyways. I didn't care about the fucking set list. Shit, I didn't care about the set list about last year's Hallowicked, and I sure as fuck don't give about the set list for this year's fucking Hallowicked. I'm still going. That's why I went to the gathering this year, and I plan on doing that from here on out. As long as there continues to be a gathering, I'm going to make damn sure that I fucking continue to go to them. And the same thing with Hallowicked. So with that being said, I'm KreyzMcKormik. Thank you for listening to my fucking 3-hour drab. Shout out to everybody that was participating in the chat, and shout out to everybody that was listening in and watching. With that being said, I'm KreyzMcKormik, and I'm out this motherfucking bitch. Deuces.